Okay. Are we live? So, hi all. Might be here watching the VOD. We are going to be talking and chatting. I know. But we're just going to wait for some people to come through. So you can just skip ahead. Okay. Just waiting. Come in. What are we going to do? Chatting. It says it like it is. Okay. Cool. Well, righty then. As they say. 3 people? Hello, 3 people. Attention with her. Anyways, so we're just gonna wait for a bit before we actually get to chatting for a bit. Don't know what we're gonna cover, but hey, part of the fun is journeying right, not the destination. So I hope all who has joined us recently are all doing well. I see you 7 people. I'm not blind. I see you. Um. Uh, Casp stream. Gosh darn it! I genuinely, absolutely adore how my rook look. Oh, hello, Zeralton. Hope you're doing well. I gotta say, I absolutely adore how my rook looks here. Okay, I'm sorry, I was so flabbergasted by how funny this looks, dude. Like, oh, okay. Did you know? Yeah, what did I know, Zoltan? Yeah, the crows. The crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be saved. Will be freed. Fuck. That is true, you know. I gotta say, like the crows have definitely grown onto me, especially considering the fact that like one of the audience, your rook is packed. Fucking yeah, man. Look at my rook. I'm absolutely packing. I'm packing a 6 pack and like one might say 2 9 packs on top. You know, one might say. You know, yeah. I gotta say, and like I don't. I do think the crows could be a bit better in Veilguard, but I do think that I do like how they are now, you know. The Mario portrayal of Viago is cool. I mean, I wasn't portraying anyone, but hey, the crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free. I can't. But yeah, Like I do wish the crows were, or at least like the, because I remember one of the audience members suggested that one of the reasons why the crows are so one of the reasons why the crows are so how do you say a bit more clean is simply because of the fact that oh yeah, they're literally, you know, um they like cleaned house, right? And the only ones that are left are literally the good ones, right? Makes enough sense, right? Hello, Alma Nagara? None of this is sure how to pronounce your name. Hope you're doing well. I started a Crow Rook. There's a lot of small interactions to research. I imagine so, right? I'm very surprised because like when I was playing my Grey Warden, right? I'm just surprised how many times it's just like, oh yeah, and you play your character or a Warden, remember? I'm like, oh cool, that's pretty. I like that a lot. Those small touches are really good. Like the dialogue reframed a bit. Yeah. That's right. It's reframed a bit, which I think really does make it feel like more your character, and the character is like part of that faction that you're talking to. Gotcha. But I think let's just get on to it. You know, as one says, and one might say. So like I'm not necessarily sure what I wanted to talk about because I have really no idea. If you guys have suggestions, go ahead. Um, but one of the things that I I wanted to just talk about is like Harden's Quest, because obviously you get this armor during Harden's Quest, right? As you can see in the background, I'm definitely in like Harden's Lord's Quest, and she's the first one I got as a hero of Veilguard. Pretty cool. And I gotta say, I love the armor that they gave Harding as like oh yeah, this is armor Harding has as like part of her, you know, her personal quest, right? Which is card Harding hero of Veil card. I sort of regret my first one was a Lord of Fortune. I like them, but they're hardly there. Yeah. The Lord of Fortunes, I definitely will agree. You kind of feel do kind of feel a bit tangential, right? The only character, like, so let me see, Dragon Age Veil card full of valor. Like so much of the Lord of Fortunes is a really cool idea. One of the things that I kind of just like eh, about it, Isabella's pretty cool. Is this like yeah, we're gonna have to cover that later. Anyways, is this one guy? He's literally the merchant there, and I find him very endearing, but I'm also kind of like, man, who are you? Who are you? You know, I don't know if this one will also show it. Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. Yo, this one random ads. Let me through. There we go. There we go. Like this guy, right? Like
Need an edge in the Hall of Valor?
okay, my man. I respect the outfit, okay, but I'm not sure about the. Cause like I don't know. It's too campy to my liking, right? It's too campy for my liking. I definitely will enjoy them eventually, but I do feel like they're such a minor part of the game's like overall narrative, right? Which I don't know. I would like to see the behind the scenes on which factions made it, because like it is very obvious which factions were clearly the like okay, we need these factions, right? It just makes sense. Like a Tevinter faction, a Grey Warden faction, something with the elves, um, and then the other ones like kind of developed out of there, right? Such as the Talatasi, the Mornwatch, and then the Crows, and then obviously then somehow the Lords of Fortune. And I feel like the Lords of Fortune are the ones that maybe got the least development, or maybe were added last. Oh, Lord of Fortune fashion is. Nah, man. Nah, you can't tell me this is fucking atrocious, okay? This is design, okay? I'm sorry. Whatever Isabella's packing is like amazing, dude. Here's it. Oh, come on. Show me Isabella talk. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Like, Isabella is like, oh yeah, man. I love.
Emma
Amazing.
Saline.
I'm sorry, man. You can't tell me that this is not just like an amazing outfit, okay? I love it. I love him. I wish I didn't place Meryl's flash. Meryl. I love it. Hello, Kabashi. If you like the Lord of Fortune, that's cool. Your dragon rook was kind of I don't know what you mean by that, Elma. Hello, Tulip. Isabella works in that outfit. Yeah, man. Now you can say that like the other ones just don't work it because like why would they, right? They just look a bit too campy, you know? Like oh okay, I mean sure, you know. But I don't know. I'm cool with it, right? I oh and one thing I do find that very interesting is a lot of people do complain about the Lord of Fortunes like warrior Lord of Fortunes like warrior set, which I don't get. I love the Lord of Fortunes like warrior sets. Like is it like gaudy as anything? Like obviously, man. But like I don't know, man. I like it. I respect this. You know, the helmet is obviously not that great, right? The helmet is obviously a bit of a letdown. But I don't know. I like this. I like this. You know? Oh, is that what you mean? Like Alam is that what like random wanderer says, which is like there was no real like elf racism and free and slaves to free. Nah, I can get you in that. Honestly, I can't imagine what Isabella would not be hot in. I mean, that is true, right? But like, you know, I like the tier 4 Lord of Fortune outfit, which is kind of cheating because it's technically a crow outfit. Really? Oh, is that what you meant, Elma? Okay, okay. What is the um tier 4? I don't. Oh, do you mean this thing? Yeah, that is weird. I mean, this isn't. I don't think this is. Why don't you get this through different means? Because I remember when I was like, I might get this, right? I might wear this for my rook finger. Um, but like, I was surprised that like this is a Wheel of Fortune thing, which is odd. I mean, the warrior one is cool. I guess it's the mage one that's bad. It's almost I didn't choose because of them. Really? Why didn't you like the mage one? Is it just because I don't know? There's a weird disconnect of like something's being exposed here. A lot of things are being exposed. I remember seeing this originally, and I gotta say I respect buyers so fucking much for this. Okay, this random fucking bird outfit. I respect buyers so much just for this thing. Okay, especially the fact that this is like playable in cutscenes, man. I gotta say, I think it's suggested to be Zevron's old fit. Really, that's funny. That's very funny. I can imagine Zevron wearing that. But yeah, um, because I for those who just yeah, the major one is a bit exposed. My taste. I get that. I get that. Maybe I just have like a obviously very interests. You know. Um. But yeah. But I agree, Alma. I agree. Um. Where is where's Harding's? Because I did Harding's quest one, and I'm gonna have to do more of my like my writings of my thoughts on Veilguard, my community posts and stuff. But like man, it's been so long. Yeah, the description is something like a crow came to Antique Ravine and left the code behind. Oh, we wanted with skin all that lovely body art pointless. No, I can get you. I can get you. Though I don't necessarily think this is like beyond the pale, because like Origins only had Morrigan's outfit. It had the chastened one. Um, and like that's it. It didn't really have that much nudity, right? Or like revealing stuff. Here is Canyon outfits. Because I want to look at Harding's one. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Because I finished Harding's companion quest, and and again, this is a bit of a spoiler thing, so anyone who doesn't want to listen to spoilers, mute it for a bit, and I'll like flash my hands to when I'm done talking. There was a Canard armor for Inquisition. There was someone revealing. Oh yeah, I mean yeah. But like, I know I get that one. I just it's like the one you want. It's like how do I say? Veilguard, like Dragon Age has never really had a lot of revealing outfits, right? Even Origins had like the two. Dragon Age 2 had like one, maybe I can't remember. Hello, Lejon. Hope you're doing well. Though for Inquisition, I only remember that one. I don't remember anything else. Anyways, as I was saying, so for those who, because this is gonna be a spoiler, so again, mute yourself and I'll flash wildly. We want more skin, and true. That is true. That is true. That is true. For Harding's quest, I chose to have her stay true to herself, right, and not necessarily like taking the Titan's anger, right. To sort of like accept it and then like move on from it, which I like that idea, you know. And also I do love just how the quest is like, oh, the sort of red lyrium we're seeing isn't really blighted. It's more like pain and anguish, which I think is an interesting thing, right? Hello, Homer Marcus. Hope you're doing well. Dia2 had some armors with Andrew, and that's at iron, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Ryan. Dia2 didn't really have a lot of revealing armors. But I absolutely love the fact that this is the reward we get for Harding's like just like completing her quest, you know. It is absolutely like amazing, right? Also, you can come back. Spoilers are done. I gotta say, but I enjoyed Harding's like quest a lot. Yeah, I didn't like the start of her companion quest at the beginning, because I feel like they could have revealed more. But as we progressed on, there was like so much more. I remember there was this conversation with Harding where where you basically could just ask her a bunch of dialogue and just said like, hey man, could you describe your time with the Inquisition? And she was like, no problem. And she just basically said like, yeah man, we were just volunteers. We were the people on the ground. You know, I didn't really meet everyone at the start, and like it was such a sweet moment. You know, and one thing I noticed as well with Veilguard, a lot, is that the game has you. The reveal was a bit underwhelming to me, to be honest. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Lejon. Maybe in the next games we'll have some dwarf mages. I don't. Maybe, but I don't think like in a way that humans and elves and Kunara get to be made, right? Like dwarf magic is very clearly like stone magic, right? Yeah. And Companion armors at Veilguard have so many details. Oh yeah, so true. I only have gotten Harding's one so far. I haven't gotten anyone else's. I think I'm gonna be able to get the other ones with Lucanus stuff. The source of the evil dwarf. Really, I mean, there was only I don't know. I don't know what you mean by underwhelming. Do you mean that you kind of expected something more? You expect that like it was gonna be different? Like I don't know what you mean. But yeah. While I wait for your answer, I'll just keep talking. Um I wish there was dialogue with Divine Liliana that mentions her relationship with Eurofron that causes everyone like aren't. I'm not sure what you mean, but Lejon, like what didn't make sense about it? I thought it made enough sense, right? Um yeah, I mean yeah, but that's the sort of, and this is the wild thing to me, right? Which is Bioware was gonna do like a lot of those carryover world stage dialogue and stuff. It just sucks that they weren't able to do that because you know Veilguard was a live service at the start, so they didn't really know how to implement that within a live service game. So they didn't eventually got cut. I don't think John Epler and Corinne Bush were lying when they said in the IGN review that they didn't have them because they thought they could have Veilguard have its choices be more fulfilling without being restricted by the past choices. But I do think there was some like added there was some other element that they couldn't talk about, which was simply, yeah, we wanted to do it, but because of EA, we couldn't do it, you know. Also, I expect more about Carl Schrock explained. I love to see the roads in Veilguard, but I feel like they held back. Like there was a live Titan in 2020 devlog. Here's my thoughts on it. Zeralton. I think that they probably wanted to do more with Kalshrog, but they weren't able to do it because they had like you can tell when like something in a game hasn't been developed that much, due to like budgets or like time and stuff. Based on how often we get to go back and forth to in Rathos and the Hosberg Wastelands, like multiple, right? There's just a lot to go there, right? But with the other ones like Lords of Fortune, right? Like you barely go there, right? There's a couple of quests there, but not that often, you know. And then like to me as well, right? Um, and I wasn't. No, what I meant to say is, and I do think it is a suck that Kalshrog wasn't developed more because I wanted to do like talk more about it. We got some like interesting lore stuff, which is they kind of abandoned the cast list system because um, the cast list like just doesn't the cast list system didn't work with them because if they kept that up, they would have just died. Which I think is a cool development that hey, we couldn't keep the tradition alive without basically killing ourselves, right? But I wish they explained more on what the Kalshrog dwarves had to do to become like the Darkspawn. If this implies that like they became like Grey Warners themselves, which then also has to ask the question of like how do they reproduce, John says, like we first had about an unknown enemy during the conversation with Volta, and I figured it'd be something else like her and Harding. Oh, in the end, it was just Harding with a random amnesia. I don't think it was Harding with random amnesia. Like here's the thing, Ryan. Like something's calling them, right? They don't know about that. Harding isn't. Harding literally was a surface dwarf who just gotten stone powers out of nowhere. So I think it's reasonable now for her to not really understand what's happening. And Volta is clearly in a different position, right? She's like even after even in Descent, we saw what she was before and after, and that basically made that hey, it seems like Volta has changed personality wise because of the experience she went through with that other Titan. And so I don't think like the Titan, the Blighted One was that bad. Why would Harding's own feelings manifest that way? I just didn't get it. I'm not sure what you mean, LeJohn. I'm not sure what you mean. If it's just 7 choices from the world state from previous games that are important, I mean, yeah, Homer. Like even then, right? Even if it was limited world state choices, I do feel like they could have done a lot more, with it. They could have added more choices than just like the basic, which divine did you choose, and like some very simple minor stuff of who your hero for Elden was and who Hawk was. Or maybe the corrupt Titan. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Alma. How Volta became as such is a mystery to me. I mean, I think that is a mystery to me as well. And I would have liked people to ask the question of like, "Hey Volta, why are you a statue now?" you know, like I think that's like would be really cool and interesting to see how that is. But I don't think it's that important, right? I don't think that like if the fact we don't get an answer kind of like destroys the narrative. I think you could like reasonably assume that Volta taking the power of the Titan, kind of makes her a pseudo Titan and eventually might cause her to become a Titan herself, which I think is interesting. Again, that's a theory, not anything real there. Honestly, I wanted both Wiseout and Kalshrog to be hubs with how they've been hyped in other games. With Wiseout, I kind of get why we don't, but yeah, no, I get you, Zoltan. I was when I saw Kalshrog was actually going to be a thing. I was like, oh yeah, man, dwarves are back, baby. Dwarves are back. We didn't have literally anything for 2 games. Now we're back, baby. Okay. I mean, it's cool that we got to visit the dwarves and see Kalshrog and see a different side of the dwarves again. But it would have been nice to see it be a hub area. And it's also very funny because like we don't have them as like a faction. We can like we have so many dwarven items in the game that I feel like it was just so obvious that we would give the dwarves dwarven items and they would increase their reputation with them. To me, like it does like that we don't actually get them to be that much of a big thing. It would have been cool. Do you think she's becoming Titan? I think that is a possibility, right? The room we see Volta in, and this is gonna be some more spoilers. So, I mean, I think we've gone beyond spoilers. There we are. Also, I gotta say, I love Statue Volta. Okay, Statue Volta looks amazing, dude. Like in the room we see like Volta, right? In the room we see with Volta, like red lyrium, like lyrium all over the place. It's just like surrounding, like lyrium here. It's growing all over the place, you know. And I feel like that's an indication that like something is happening to her that is causing all this lyrium to we've gone beyond become to basically grow, you know. And I feel like her becoming a Titan might be one of them, you know. I really, and also don't spoil anything with the ending revolving around the Titans. Okay, I haven't gotten to that point of the game. Sorry. I really want to know what's the relationship between the First Warden and the Hero Ferelden if they're alive. So the First Warden, I think, the characterization of the First Warden that I got was that they are a bureaucrat, and are by the letter, right? They've swallowed the sort of like, their own Kool-Aid on the Grey Wardens being like the greatest guys who will never be fooled ever again, and who will basically like outmaneuver literally everyone, right? Like they're beyond anyone, right? And additionally, this makes sense as well because the First Warden is literally a monarch, right? Like anyone who says it isn't, it's false. Like the Anderfels is basically ruled by the Warden, right? The Wardens are their security, their army, literally everything about them, you know. And so I do think the First Warden being a monarch does change their feelings on everything. And I think if they met the Hero Ferelden, especially as they became a commander as well, they'd probably be generally applicable to them, to even like friendly, you know, because they're kind of like recognized game, you know. But they might also, there's also a possibility that the First Warden might like hostile towards them because they might be feel threatened, you know. Like I'm sorry, man. You don't just like survive the archdemon like slaying and then come back and then be like, yo man, how's it? And not feel threatened, you know? I imagine a lot of wards be like, why isn't this guy the First Warden, okay? Like he literally survived a archdemon. Like this guy should be the, you know, the First Warden, you know? And then the First Warden there might just feel like you know? Would be cool though. I would have liked to see that. We didn't visit Kalshrok. It was Kalshrok Outpost, and it had these conversations with hints, but nothing said directly, which is kind of cool anyway. I mean, no, I agree with you, Zelton. It would have been so cool to see. Okay, so I'm gonna give a bit of a hot take. Orzammar is a cool city, but it's not what I envision the city of the dwarves to be. So there's a lot of like art here. Like this is like some art of Orzammar and stuff, which looks cool and whatnot. But let's look at the actual game. The actual game we have here, beyond too small, like this one. Okay, Proven's right here. We have like nobles, and then we have like nobles up here and like commoners. Like this doesn't feel like a city to me, right? Like Orzammar does kind of like get there, but it doesn't feel like a true city to me because I don't really see how these many people can be housed, you know. I don't get the illusion that a society lives here, right? I get an illusion that like at most 1,000 people live here, right? Which isn't small, but I feel like the dwarves should have a city that's much more grandiose than this, right? Even grander than this. Yeah, and it would have been cool to see Kalshrok finally become this like realization of dwarven architecture and like the dwarves at their peak, at their pinnacle, right? And we can like, I don't know, there's so much that could have been done with Kalshrok, you know. Damn, so I can't really tell you that Ogren became Zoltan, I'm gonna have to fucking ban you again, man. This time. Permanently for 10 seconds now. I'll let you off this time, okay? But remember, I'm watching you. I gotta say, Ogren as a Titan would be very funny though. Really wish we did see the Architect and the Target Darkspan from Awakening. Yeah, man, especially with one of Solus's memories, right, where you could ask the question of hold on, my dogs are barking. The black and white dog is Snowy, and the brown one's Rizzy. Just to tell you. And where was I? Oh yeah. In Solis's memories, right? We find out that the blights are actually just the severed dreams of Titans, which is like fucking wild. I absolutely love that. And it also implies that the Darkspawn are a result of that. That all of them are basically just like the pain of being severed from their like spirits. And so then obviously a question you can ask is, could we like fix the Darkspawn? Which is then like they'd obviously give an answer from their perspective, which just feels true, which is like they're probably just mindless beings, right? But obviously we know differently, right? We're obviously smarter than the characters, because we've seen the Architect and the actual talking Darkspawn, right? The Awakened. And then that was like, oh man, it would have been a cool moment to maybe have a quest where we find the Architect and he's still doing his thing, and then he can serve as like another ally for us against the gods, and it makes so much sense because you can just have the Architect regardless of like the choice if you killed him or not, because like he's literally a fucking magister. Okay, he's probably has the secret to immortality, and one of the ideas for I can't remember the one about the Wardens of the Quest in position was, but instead of falling into the Fade, you fell into the Deep Roads and you met the Architect, right? And it makes sense because Ian, he probably knows the secret to effective immortality, right? And so I absolutely would have loved to see like the Architect there. The gods would probably control them. I don't know. The implication from the Architect and a lot of the Awakening stuff surrounding all the stuff surrounding the Architect and in Awakening implies that the son's been cut off, right? The mother is crying out for the son because she can't hear anymore. Now obviously the gods probably can like use them a lot more, but since the Grey Wardens we see in game aren't actually like affected at all, right? They're affected in the sense that they can hear the calling a lot more like in their heads, but they're not like being controlled or whatever, right? So I do feel like I don't think they would be able to control the Architect or the other Magisters for that matter, or the Awakened, because they would have too much free roll. Orzammar feels like a set piece that's supposed to be bigger. Yeah, that's exactly. That's so true. That's so true. Like Orzammar looks so much like it feels like a set piece that's supposed to imply a lot more imply something bigger, which is fine. But like, I really think it could have benefited from what they did to Denerim, which is it could have basically because okay, here's the thing, right? We only see like a couple of places in Denerim, right? Denerim. No. There you go. May I? No, that's too small. That's too small. That's too small. I'd like to see a map of Denerim, please. Okay, here you go. Like so. So we only see a small part of it, but again, it implies something bigger. Oh, here's the market, right? It's like as the size of a market as it probably would be. We have the alienage and the repeat areas of all these like alleyways and whatnot, right? But it implies something really big, especially when we're able to traverse it. I think Orzammar could have benefited from this, where we enter the city, we have the entrance, and then we traverse from place to place. Which I get probably why they didn't do that, because no, actually no, I don't get why. Because I feel like they would have allowed them to have more tailored zones and allowed them to imply there's a lot bigger. The abandoned tigers in Dio feel like towns. Yeah, so true, man. So true. So true, so true. It doesn't feel like cities or like large like colonies or small cities, Yeah. Doggo. They're very cute. They are very bulky though. Also, there's a cool Awakened Darkspawn concept as just a multiplayer character present. Yeah. I remember seeing that. Pull it up. Dragon Age edition. Sorry, I gotta say, I love so much of the concept arts here. You know. Can I just Verith Jatharl Kaminsky. Oh man, dude. I gotta say, these would have been some cube. These would have been some really cool companions. Like I gotta say, they really could have just like ripped from these guys and been like, oh yeah, some companions we could use. Where's the Darkspawn one? Excavator, Haunted Sword. Sorry. I love the reference here to the Countess, which is basically what Liliana said, which was there was a person basically put a bird in her cage in her hair as a Dagon isn't dead. Galatasi. Into it. I don't see where the concept. Oh, there it is. Awakened. There, you couldn't get away from me. Yeah. And I love the implication that this awakened is a fucking Orlesian awakened Darkspawn. Okay, the implications, you know. Choosing the next king of Orzammar is one of my favorite choices, both because both are great and not great. Yeah, right. There's so much implications, and especially if you added the layer of the dwarf origin into it, it makes it a lot more interesting as well. Because now you're gonna have to like. Here's the thing, right? If you make the decision to say, I am playing the commoner dwarf and I'm going to side with Heremont, you have to face the fact that Rika will talk to you in such a different manner, right? Will absolutely despise you for that, you know. And I love those small details because it means that you have to consider, is it worth that risk of that like personal connection for you, you know. There's like so many reasons why choosing the King of Orzammar is so good. It's not two, it's actually 1-to-1 scale. Yeah, poor dwarves, they lost too much thanks to Solus. Yeah, man, especially like, and I gotta say, right, I originally thought it was more Mythol, because we got a concept art where a Titan was like killed and like Mythol was implied to be the one, you know. But like, man, dude, it sucks that like Mythol base, like Solus basically like gave the tools to destroy the entire dwarves, you know. And here's the thing that I absolutely love about that like Solus memory sequence is that with did the dwarves exist before or after, right? I think it's before. They exist alongside the Titans and weren't created like afterwards. But I absolutely love the idea that the dwarves at some point just like felt like a loss of this connection, right? And then somehow it formed like who they were as a society just began to form. It's so interesting. It's interesting. Shout out to obviously Anders. Yeah, the Hermit. Hello, Marton Balog. Not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Hi, how are you? Matt Rhodes posted concept art of Trespasser where Skyhold would have blown up and Sten. Oh yeah, man. We can go over that bit. I absolutely Matt Rhodes. Oh gosh darn it. Here's the thing, right? I love Matt Rhodes. I think Matt Rhodes is like is someone who really knows and feels under Dragon Age on a fundamental level, right? And then I hope he gets to stay on for a while, you know. Bill got early Ravine. Oh gosh, wait, hold on. I'm just gonna quickly go this. The first exploration, I like the idea of an inverted dome, like a glass flower at top of its central temple. Rook arrives with 3 precious MacGuffins. Oh gosh darn it, dude. Yeah. I really wonder what the development of Ravine was going to be like, because the implication was we're going to actually have another city to visit. I so desperately wonder what Ravine was going to be like originally. Ah man, you know, I'm looking forward to Mark Darrow's like coverage of Veilguard, you know. Ooh, this would be actually nice. Does Matt Rhodes? No, he doesn't. Matt Rhodes, what are you doing? Okay, up here. Wait, what is chat saying? Yeah, okay. Just make sure I'm not missing it. Yeah, and here's Sten. Like, it's so funny. And I think the implication says here an early version of the story, Sten would arrive to rescue you for and this is for Trespasser, right? Which I think is an interesting idea for Trespasser, which is like the arrows like the Kuhn is a lot more direct and is not just like having the Ben Hathroth there, but is actually having like the Khnari on Tom meeting with you directly, which I think is like such an interesting idea, but I'm not necessarily sure how good of it is, right? It's a cool moment, it's a cool feeling, but I'm not sure how how much of a story that can be told from that, Man, Matt Rhodes has so many sexy concept arts in his archive. Yeah, man, it's so wild. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, like I don't know. Sexual tension is palpable. I love him. I love him. Oh, Revolver would have been such a cool game. Oh gosh darn it, dude. Why does he have like the his art, man? Yo, stuff like this. Like, I'm sorry, what? Matt Rhodes. Why is BioWare limiting your potential, okay? I'm sorry, BioWare, you need to let Matt Rhodes free, okay? You need to let Matt Rhodes just like have a field day with the sexual design characters, okay? We need that, okay? Oh my gosh, Matt Rhodes. I'm sorry. I find this so funny, man. I was digging through some old boxes and found this drawing from elementary school in the early 90s. Looks like I've been drawing same stuff of my whole life, and I'm okay with that. Thought it'd be fun. Oh my gosh, Matt Rhodes, fucking beast, man. Look at this, man. And this isn't even bad, for a person in elementary school. Oh my gosh, dude. What a king, man. What a king. Really wish that Kuhn would have take action against the on-time going Talbot. Yeah, I wish as well, right? I wish we could have had like us have like us getting a letter or something from like the Kuhn saying like, hey, and Sten walks saying like something Sten related, like hello, or something. And he basically just says like, hey, we can't really go against the Antom directly because we literally have no army. One might say all our army left. They turned to Talvashov. So, but we are gonna help you, okay? Get ready for some fucking guns. Bam. Like, that would be very funny. But stuff like resources, support, and all that kind of stuff, which I think would have been really cool to have, especially because like one of the ideas that Trespasser gave was we were gonna actually have like to fight the Khnari, the Kuhn, and we kind of do in Vilgard, but I really wish we could have had some connection of, hey, the Antom is back in our support, right? At least against the Antom, they're sending Ben Hathra stuff. They're telling the Crows and Minrathos how to like counter them and stuff. That would have been really cool, He has exquisite taste in women. I agree. Hot, yeah, same. In men too. I mean, yeah, he has exquisite taste in everything, that chest hair. No wonder Varric exists like he does. Okay, he knew he had his game on. He basically made a Gears of War character in elementary. That's so true. Where is it? Yo, man, the widest shoulders imaginable, the fucking square jaw. The only thing that's like not Gears of War is the hair. The hair should be like a buzz cut or like very small or very minimal. But like overall, he basically made a Gears of War character. That's a good point. Sten walks into Skyhold and demands to hand over the cookie recipe in the ending because it defines. That's why Sky. Greetings, boss. I am here for your cookie recipe. If you do not give it to me, I will kill you. And then the Inquisitor like nervously looks at Sarah, and Sarah is just like, no way, no way, no way, And then Inquisitor like sighs is like, no, I'm not giving to you it. And then you just hear Gatlock cannons firing over. Okay, so be it, boss. We will take it by force. from the crumbles of Skyhold, and then it's just like, oh, okay. Everyone prefers the cookie, obviously. Sarah's cookies have been recognized worldwide. Wonder if Eric met the hero for Elden between Inquisition and Velgard. I mean, I wouldn't discount that. Though okay. So here's the thing, Ryan. If they did meet the hero for Elden, they're gonna have to write a really good reason why the hero for Elden just didn't do anything. You know, like Varric goes like, "Oh, you're the hero for Elden. Want to help stop Sodus, an ancient elven god who's gonna about to destroy everything? Also, like, Morgan is related. Remember her?" And like, okay. Like, you're gonna have to write the warden as some like weird douchebag who's just like, sorry man, I'm done, bye, and like leaves. You know. Story you just told might be the greatest Canary story. Thank you. Okay, I try my best. I try my best. I try my best. Also, sorry, I just gotta say, I really do miss the fact that like that we don't have Revolver. Right, some of the concept art for Revolver is just like so sick. One thing I also like about Matt Rhodes is that like he has like he can, because like a lot of his normal concept art kind of does like feel like, oh, I mean, maybe a bit I wouldn't say cartoony, stylized, you know, but he can certainly do like scenes like this, you know. Still think is like very impressive. Also, Bioware, where's this outfit? I'm sorry, the Lord of the Fortunes need more outfits, okay? Where's our topless outfits? Bioware, where are our topless outfits? Anyways. Also, your friend has either succumbed to the calling or is still looking for the cure. Yeah, it's been like, what, 20 years? I mean, yeah, like, there's only so long until Bioware basically says, like, the hero for Elden's cured, you know? Or basically just, like, leaves it vague as possible, you know? Which is, like, again, this is the sort of, like, negative of having, choices, being imported from, like, world state from game to game. It eventually becomes a sort of Gordian knot of, like, how do you, like, resolve these plot lines, you know? And tell a new story, right? You can only tell a new story for so long until you basically just, like, have a game that's about, hey, here's your choices, you know, we're showing them off. Because if the hero for Elden is still around the world, he would defeat all the enemies from the other games easily. Okay, we all here love our hero for Elden, okay? We love them, okay? They're hot, they're sexy, they're all that kind of stuff, you know? I don't think the hero for Elden would be able to, like, easily, like, take on Corypheus, you know? Or like, the Elven Gods, you know? Taking an Archdemon down, and, like, what was the other... Taking the Archdemon down and that, like, because the only other like strong enemy we know that the hero for Elden defeated was like that weird Fade dragon, and like maybe the forgotten, no, the forbidden ones, you know. But like otherwise than that, like, I'm sorry, I think the Inquisition was stronger pre-hand loss because they literally took down Corypheus, you know. They stylized, but somehow other artists find a way to bring it into 3D or other styles. Bioware has many great artists. All the animated, like Frisk in. Yeah. He also defeated Flemeth. Okay, real talk here. If Flemeth wanted to kill the hero for Elden, they could have easily fucking did that, okay? Like, I'm sorry. Flemeth, like, was not putting her all when they were fighting the hero for Elden, okay? The hero for Elden, like, she was just fighting just to give them a show, you know? I do not... Because here's the thing, right? If Flemeth died, Flemeth could just, like, come back, you know? Flemeth's not, like, gonna die in such a weird way, you know? Would persuade Corypheus to stop? Yeah, that's true. I imagine when they fought Flemeth, it was like Flemeth just had to put on a show to make it convincing, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't call that defeated Flemeth. Yeah, right. That's literally just like the hero for Elden felt like, man, that was a tough fight. We defeated Flemeth, you know? And then Morrigan, like seconds after, says, yeah, you do realize that Flemeth most likely isn't dead because she can't be dead, okay? That's not, even if you killed her, you saw her killed, she's not dead. You know, she's coming back, right? So again, like, I don't think Flemeth was like really defeated, you know, because Flemeth wasn't like fighting at her full power in that kind of way. She's a millennia old. I think she could indulge. Yeah, he stopped the blight in 1 year. That is true. You know, I will give them that. You know, but that is more like good politicking than anything else, right? Being able like okay, being able to like defeat Aldred and the Brood Mother and like Zathrian or the Lady of the Forest or Witherfang does take a lot of skill and like power, but I think a lot of those are more like really good politicking from the part, you know. Which again, like all the other like characters like kind of find in that, you know. I don't know. I don't like. Here's the thing: power scaling. I think the Hero for Elden would obviously be at top, on a lot of them for a lot of different areas. But I don't think they're like that special. You know, I don't think it would be able to like resolve the conflicts of Corypheus or the Elven gods that easily. Hawk would have stopped 6 months. Hawk would have stopped Blight in 6 months. That's true. But along the way of Hawk stopping the Blight, he would have probably like they would have probably got their entire family killed, themselves killed, and then the person who stopped the Blight killed. You know, so you win some, you lose some. You can also kill the Architect, and he is on the same level as Corypheus. I'm not sure about that. The Architect, like, here's the thing, right? The Architect has definitely been alive a lot and is very strong. But I'm not necessarily sure on the same level as Corypheus in Inquisition. In Legacy, maybe. In Inquisition, I don't think so. Right? Especially because we have to consider how powerful were each of the Magisters, because Dumat was the, you know, head god of the Pantheon. And I imagine that the Magister for Dumat was the stronger of all, you know. And yeah. Anyways, go through and this one thing when you know the difference of the dragon. Not sure what you mean by that. Technically, the Inquisitor fought like 12 dragons. The Hero for Elden only fought like Flemeth, the High Dragon, that Storm Dragon. I think that's it. 3 dragons. And the Archdemon, yeah. Only fought like four dragons, while the Hero for Elden, no, well, I mean, while the Inquisitor fought like 12 of them, you know. Rook fought like I think more than 12. I think like 6. I love Dagna here, you know, and I love the fact that like Dagna has successfully reverse engineered the explosive Gatlocker. Like I like that she did that, you know, and it's a cool idea. I'm not sure where this idea would have gone though within Trespasser, because it's like okay, she invented it. Like what now, you know? Ooh. Then it comes to accepting because surrender only find Skyholder abandoned. Now this is interesting. Barrels. Oh, the Inquisitor sets a trap. Yeah, man. Other stuff here, like all have been like in. Ooh, and I love the Qunari armors that they have. Like here's the Qunari base, and then here is the light armor, medium armor, and then just like, oh yeah, here is the heavy armor. Okay, these like giant motherfuckers, you know. And then we have the Cerebos armor, and then the super upmade female Qunari, and then we have the Qunari Arasoth. Oh, this is so cool. I like it a lot. Actually, I think Rook is the weakest on the power scale, and I kind of love it. It's not chosen on right. I mean, yeah, I think the implication is Rook isn't as strong because Rook is literally just a dude who has Solus stuck in his head. You know, like that's it. Like the only like real power that Rook has is being able to unite people into a common goal. You know. Easy headcanon is Velgard. Easy headcanon in Velgard for most people. Rio Ferelden and Hawk are alive. Basically, they're helping the Inquisitor in the south, but wish the Inquisitor. I mean, that would have been cool, right? I think I. Yeah. 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 I think that would have been a good, easy way to have. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think you could have easily had the Inquisitor saying like, it is amazing that we are so lucky to have the hero Ferelden and the champion of Kirkwall on our side helping, and they have been able to defend, their respective, areas very well, and be able to lead them. Like, yeah, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. In your opinion, who is the strongest protagonist based on solely the power, no companion influence? I think it's the hero Ferelden, right? Um, while the Inquisitor is definitely like strong, I believe. I don't necessarily think they can top the hero Ferelden. You know, again, I don't think the hero Ferelden is like weaker than them. I just think the hero Ferelden wouldn't be able to like easily defeat Corypheus and the Elven Gods. Like I think they'd be able to like take them on. But I don't think it would be like a wash up. Right? And the reason why I think the hero Ferelden will be able is like stronger than them is because they have more experience, right? The hero Ferelden was a warrior and a commander and a pseudo politician for longer than them, and also the fact that they're like a Grey Warden means they have a lot more like power in general due to the nature of them being a warden. There's just like a lot going for them, you know. While Hawke is literally just like a person, a dude, a girl, right? And the Inquisitor, like beyond the mark, is just like also a normal person, you know. I love the male Kunari armor, the open belly like female armor does. Equality, equality. Finally, we have done it, BioWare. You have achieved equality, even on your heaviest of armors. You still have little openness. Okay. I gotta say these designs are pretty sick though. Rook's true power is therapy. That is true. That is true. That is true. I think the problem with Inquisitor mentioning Hawke and Hot as being present is their diability, unfortunately. Yeah, I get you. One of the things though I think that mitigates it is like most people like okay, the only people who complain about that are people who would have just like hated Bio from the start, Most people, if Bioware like suddenly made it canon that like Hero Ferelden like lives, most people would not give a shit, right? They wouldn't really care. They'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, okay, I get it. I agree, I agree. There'd be some like dumbasses coming out of the woodworks and like, but I let my Hero Ferelden die, I'm like, okay, sure, man. And Hawke you can easily explain, but like, Hawke was in the Fade. Hawke can get out of the Fade, I imagine that's like not an impossibility, right? Especially when we see like again a golden rule of storytelling is if you don't see the body, they're not dead, kind of thing. And I think they left it vague enough so Hawke could be back. Kind of wondering if the hero Ferelden is leading the Grey Wardens of Wardlay after what happened to Cariel. I mean, I'm again this is like going into like fan fiction, but I don't know. I think it's a possibility that they could have done that. That like the hero Ferelden is like leading the Orlesian Wardens or like the Southern Wardens in general. But that is tingent on the fact that that the Grey Wardens weren't kicked out of Orlais. And Hoff. I see you corrected yourself. But yeah. I'm not necessarily sure what the direction of Trespasser would have been if we had like Den be an antagonist up front. Oh, and also one thing I find so cool about here is they always plan Solas to like have hair like during his rebellion. I find that so funny that like Solas is just like, oh yeah, I had a long set of hair, okay, but then I just kind of like lost it. Like yeah, I like that. I like that. Also, I like the fact that in this art they gave him a strong chin, very pronounced chin. There's a lot more blood involved. Actually, it's kind of funny how once Bioware got so much shit for making Ashley sexier, and now Bioware gets so much shit for making girls pretty and sexy. Yeah, I mean, I think. Okay. First off, we're gonna have to acknowledge that the people who said like, oh, why isn't Bioware not making sexy girls, are literally like spent online just looking at like the most like cursed shit imaginable. Okay, they're looking at like they're literally just looking at porn. And so it's definitely not like they're not relevant to this conversation. Though there is an argument to like the characters not getting as pretty or sexy as they were before. But the reason why I think like Ashley was so bad, like personally, was simply because they just like bimbofied it, right? Like you didn't have to make Ashley have a revealing like revealing her chest and like long hair, okay? Like I don't get that. Ashley having long hair is fine, I guess, but like I don't think it was needed for her because it makes her look a bit out of character, you know? Wouldn't Rook should become the first one? So true, Alma. I would. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a I don't know if I have it there. So in so I can't really pull the thumbnail, but this one, right? Like you can see, my Rook here has the first warrant armors, and that's because I love it, and I would love the idea that my Rook would become the first warden. So doesn't a bullet bud in the Trespasser contest so sexy? That is true. Not my thing, but like that is. Yeah. I find this so funny. Like, okay, Solus is like getting tagged, stamped, and it's like, okay. Like, holy shit, man. Fuck. Solus. And it's just like, and I like this sequence a lot, you know, because it's so visceral, it's so impactful, you know. Though I'm not necessarily sure if this would work for like the confrontation with Solus, you know, because like it just, I think the confrontation with Solus that we had is like the best version of that, you know. Um, because like having him basically like talk to us and also answering our questions about everything that we've had about him, the Elven Gods and all that is cool. This is also like cool as well, but I think what we got was a bit better. Great point about Ash. Oh, thank you, thank you. I'll be here all week. Doesn't the Earth Elden after curing themselves from the calling, or they also gain new powers that blight fears? Maybe. Though again, like we don't know the mechanics of like what fears. Maybe. Though again, yeah, I don't think we know what the mechanics of like curing the blight would be. You know, because we have what was already established, which was it Fiona, which is she's just a normal person now, right? She doesn't have any of the Grey Warden special abilities. Um, so yeah, and then all this is the other point where it's like they kind of like do the like because in the calling, right, the architect basically accelerated the blight's process with the two Grey Warden siblings there, and it basically made them immune, you know, to it basically made them immortal, like all effectively immortal, especially because they could sustain themselves from the blight and no longer needed to eat, right? That could also be like another way of curing it, you know. Also insane that the direction he went into is so far from this. I mean, yeah, it is interesting, and I do, yeah. I wonder because like how the concept art works or how the story works. If they like give a general idea that like we have a like we see Solus fighting like fighting Kunari and then he defeats them, right? And then like how he interprets that and how they like adjust from it, you know. Um which I think is interesting, you know. Um yeah, I wonder like why they took this direction, you know, or why he took that direction. How does the Inquisitor's new hand works? It's a mechanical hand. It just I imagine I don't know exactly the mechanics of it. But it's literally just a hand that can move and stuff. That's it. They can't really fight with it because I don't think it's made for that. But yeah. Wish the awakening companions like Ogren, Sigrun, Valana, and Nathaniel return to Velgon and give the Warden Rook advice. That would have been cool, you know. Oh gosh, that would have been so cool, man. Like Sigrun somehow like winds up carving a path so deep in deep roads she eventually just like ends up in Kal Sharok. You know, that'd be very funny. You know, and she's just like there now, right? Ogren, who's probably just like I don't know what he's doing in the north, something something. You know, Volana would make a lot of sense because of the whole Olathan forest and whatnot. And then Nathaniel is a harder one to justify why he would be up in the north. But I think there can be some justification. But otherwise, I think it's all cool. I think it would have been cool to have that. he had recently talked about how the artist and artists work together. I think the Dorian post. Yeah, but that was more of how they did the concept art for the companions, not story direction. You know, because what David Guetta said there was that the artist would oftentimes see like some like notes saying that the character was like gruff, and like, oh, okay, I'll draw gruff, and it's like, no, we meant gruff as in like their kind of their personality, not the like appearance, you know. It's like, oh, and so then they adjusted in Inquisition where they just basically said like rock star mage, right, and they would work from there, you know. But I wonder about story direction, or like how the story was worked. Oh, and this one is Final Scene was designed to replicate the opening. Ooh, I remember. I love this like opening. It's just like, oh, we have, oh, duh, duh. Oh man, it's so cool, so cool. The body has their mission. Everyone starts to disperse. I think that's cool. Yeah, and I absolutely love this like concept art here, where it's like Morgan like rushes back before like Solace does something, and then she's just like, not only in her new appearance, which is interesting that this was like gonna be her appearance in Trespasser, but it was reused for Veilguard. Um, then basically like, oh, okay, like what's going on, and then like, oh, oh, something's gonna happen, and then at the end you see Solace coming, approaching, sits the fuck down, looks sad, and then blows up. I kind of get why they didn't go this direction either, because like I don't know what you would do with that direction. I think the Trespasser we got was like the best version of it. You know, the concept arts don't feel like much left to desire. Um, I think Rook should have a personal quest based on the back. Oh, that is such a good idea, Alma. That is such a great idea. Because like I do agree that like it does feel like Rook. Like I would have loved to see Rook having like, okay, the sort of connections we do have with our Rook is good, but I do wish we could have had more. You know, the origins in Origin are really great because it does establish character very effectively, and also it recontextualizes a lot of areas. So here's an idea I had that I think would have been like really amazing to do and really great reuse of assets. Okay, so you're a Veil Jumper. Okay, your backstory, instead of like whatever it was in game, right? It's actually you go to Demeter's Crossing to help someone. Okay, and then you have this like cool thing because obviously people are going to be like playing the Warden or some other origin first, right? And then eventually, right, they get to Veil Jumper, they play it and see Demeter's Crossing. Byron, you hacks. You know, absolutely fucking molting themselves because it's just like, oh wait, this is like part of the origin. Oh no, all these people I recognize are actually in Demeter's Crossing when it gets bloody sacked by the Blight. Oh, holy shit, the mayor, I see him, he's right there, I could talk to him, I can interact with him. And it's just like, it recontextualizes everything, you know? I feel like those stuff would have been really cool. And then like, as you said, Alma, with like quests alongside that, like furthering Rook's personality, would have also been really cool. It would have also made like the chance to have like very personal armor design. It would have been really nice. As it always is with game dev, the version we got is the best one it could have been. Otherwise, there just wouldn't be one. Yeah, I think so. Though I do think there could have been like for Trespasser, I think it's like not the case because I think the version we got was better than the concept art shown. But I do think for Veilguard, a lot of the concept art for Veilguard, there could have been better ones. Like we have some here. Apparently, Mournwatcher and Shadow Dragon Rook have more family background. And too. I remember that reading that, and I still can't believe a Mournwatcher Rook is just like, oh yeah, we found like some random guy must have heard like a baby crying, like that baby, and then they just like see like a child in the tomb of an undead, and I'm just like, huh? What happened? This is some like Destiny shit, okay? Like this child is gonna go off to do something great, you know? Like, but I like that though. I like that. Oh, and we need to talk about Emmerich as well. Gosh darn, we need to talk about Emmerich as well. We'll talk about that now after we get this comes around. Um, no wait, okay? No. In the early days, it's all just fun speculation. I thought that since we were heading north to winter, it would be cool to also visit Part Warden. Also, it's not good to forget. It's also good to not forget the. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. Like so much of like I think was it in Origins, right? Shell wasn't gonna be a character, but then eventually revived for DLC, right? So like all the concept art for them were like reused later on. Same with like every other character, you know. In one way or another, it will be reused. I feel like it's important. Yeah, it would be cool to meet his family or maybe delve into who is really Rook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would have been cool. It would have been cool. Um, I tried to create a contrast between tropical climate and abnormal ice flows. With the Qunari, were able to somehow hold back the cold, or cold was an anomaly was all up for grabs. Also includes Saharon, a contended island. Since exterior sketch of Qunari hive style fortress, interior sketch of Qunari hive style fortress. Oh my gosh, dude! Now, this I think is like part of the some concept art that I think would have been like really good in game. You know, not necessarily sure how it had been used, but like there's so much like potential here that we never really got to see in Veilguard, which does suck. You know, the small theory that Ruka is a spirit, huh? Um, it's an interesting theory. I'm not sure how plausible it is. Though like plausibility isn't really the point in that case. It's more about like how cool the theory is. You know. Which I think that is a cool theory. I like that theory. I like that theory. Wish we could visit Saharon and Velgard. Yeah, same as well. I wish we could have visited as well. That City is cool. Yeah, it is cool. I like that. It is an interesting design because this obviously is like codifying some like Qunari aesthetics, which I'm not necessarily sure if that was the intention or if this is more of just like it's interesting. It's interesting. I gotta say, it is interesting. I like it. The only news we got in Saharon and Velgard is the Antom has taken over most of the island. Huh. I mean, that makes sense, right? The Antom is the military wing, and the Ben Halsters can't really do much other than just, like, shrug and say, like, and stab a few. You know? Right? There isn't much they can do. Anyways. What do you guys want to do? Like, you guys can make a suggestion in the chat, and then I'll maybe, like, poll and see what we can do. Because currently we're just rambling, which is fine, you know? I just want to make sure you guys, get something, you know? There's some debatable evidence. If I remember correctly, mainly it's because the companions don't interact with Rook much unless Rook initiated it, and how he's always inspiring them and fixes their problems. Are there any videos you wanted to watch? There was that one like Angry Joe video, but like that one has spoilers, and I don't want to. I don't want the ending of Veilguard to be spoiled because I was watching that, you know. For videos I have a few, but like I'm not necessarily sure entirely. You guys will have to make the suggestions for which videos you want to cover. Yeah, inspiration spirit. There's more evidence, but I forgot. Isn't that the case? You know, always something. You know, you have to prove, but you forgot about it. You know, when Liliana said she wants to be the hero for Alden for good, she really means it, especially with the trespasser epilogue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. I guess I can talk about Emmerich while you guys think about videos to watch. So like I did Emmerich's Quest, you know, and I think Emmerich's Quest I like a lot, especially on what he revealed about it, you know. Of like, oh yeah, we're here to like do a ceremony, and it was like served as a framing context for Emmerich to absolutely drop the bomb of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a Lich Rook, and like, oh what? Yeah, I'm gonna be a Lich, you know, an immortal being going to like serve and protect the necropolis, right? Which is like, oh okay, I gotta say that's cool. I like that a lot, you know. Especially because like I like how it makes so much sense with who Emmerich is, because liches normally exist only because like some people want like power and greed, right? While with Emmerich and a lot of the Mortalitasi and Morn Watchers are like they want to be necromancers for like a good reason, and I think that is really cool. You know, I think there's like so much potential there, right? And for me, right, what I chose to do for Emmerich was basically to say like, hey Emmerich, if you want to be a necromancer, if you want to be a lich, right, then go for it, right? I'm not gonna stop you. Well, for a couple of reasons, like meta-wise, I want to see what happens. Other like more like in character wise, I want to see like Emmerich achieve his goal of like him wanting to like live forever, you know, which I think is like gonna be really interesting, right? And I hope, and don't spoil this for me, I do hope that we do see a unique design for Emmerich if he does become a lich, you know. I think that would be like genuinely like really cool. Uh, what else? What else? What else? What else? There's something else I wanted to talk about as well. Oh yeah, I got to the non-binary scene for Tosh. Oh hello Angel Arts, I hope you're doing well. Don't worry, now I won't spoil anything. Oh, thank you so much. You know, maybe that's a thing we can talk about. Hold on. Non-binary scene. Okay. Because I do have thoughts about this as well, and we might as well cover it now. Um.
I see.
Shathan, it's good to see you again.
My child wished to show me where she now lived.
I made food. Here, Iskap. Made it myself.
And do you have powdered ginger for the table?
I'll go get some.
And one thing I do think that is like interesting about this, and I think is intentional, is kind of how awkward the scenes are, right? The kind of way she kind of like enters in, the kind of way our Rook enters in. So much of it is like very, very odd. I like the reveal that infinite life of the liches is sustained with Magial. Didn't expect Dragon Age to finally connect the Mass Effect. Also, Larimus, I feel sorry for this. Fucking damn it. You know what you're gonna have to do, Zoltan? Ban! 10 seconds. Permanently gone. 10 seconds. Permanently gone for 10 seconds. I hope you learn your lesson. Good job. And then I do think this is like interesting. I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about how awkward this is though. I think it's fine for what it's trying to go for. Though I'm not sure. I think one of the things that I do kind of have a bit of an issue with a lot of the companion quests is the framing and the context on how we get them, right? It does kind of feel a lot of it random, because then you would go to your companions and say like, hey, want to go like have a day trip out there, I'm like, okay, sure, man. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea, you know. But I do feel like there's no like natural way to do it. We have to like literally go out of a way and ignore like the sort of like urgency of the main plot. So I think like fine can be fine, but like I don't think Belgard does it well enough.
You are not good enough for my child.
And I love how Chthon just like kind of like outright says like, oh yeah, you're like bad. I hate you. Oh yeah, and I was wondering if they also did a romance as well.
I haven't heard any complaints.
You are emotionally sloppy and lack the resolve she needs. You will only bring.
I teared up during the Tosh scene. It's like classic comes out. It's obviously hard for them both, for Tosh, for Chthon. I hate the discourse around it. Oh yeah, I mean that's one thing when I get to it, right? I do think that like it is very genuine, right? Like so much of it is how a lot of people who come out like act, you know. There's no like easy natural way to do it. You just kind of do it. You just kind of say like, yeah, I'm this, right? Which is like which is good, you know. The only other way for them to like I guess do it more naturally is literally do the Dorian thing and already have that as an established fact, and then have the confrontation where they reconcile that fact later on, you know. But I think the way they did it feels a lot more like personable, you know. To a lot of people who have like come out.
Her pain.
Or I could make Tosh happy.
It is not about happiness.
Then what is it about?
Teaching my child to survive in this world.
Tosh is an adult. If you haven't finished teaching by now...
I have failed. Yes.
Now this is the one thing I was like not really expecting Chthon to like say, is that like, oh yeah, I did fail. I wasn't really that great. And especially when she says here, like, I was never taught to how to be a mother, and the Qun children are raised by those suited to such pursuits. Right? And I think that's like such an interesting idea of like, hey, it is cool that they acknowledge this fact about Qunari, and that she is lacking in that fact. She's a scholar first and foremost, and she's not going to be like a hey, I know I was doing perfectly. She was just like buckling against herself. Yeah, but Doran's father is very different to Chthon. I think she's honestly would be against that, because Chthon loved Tosh genuinely and unconditionally. I mean, that is true, I guess. Yeah, I guess that is true. But here's the thing, right? She's still like locked into the Qunari mindset, right? Where even later on when she talks about like being born one thing that one is not, like truly, when she says that, she still like is within the context of you're either a man or a woman, right? She doesn't really get the idea of being a non-binary person, right? Which I think she can get over that fact, but she's still like locked in the mindset of being a Qunari, you know, being part of the Qun. There's a Mathol reference in Belgard, mostly Maharal reference in Belgard, mostly in the Codex, where they mention their plan. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It didn't resonate with me the most in the game because exactly my, and a lot of the having almost. I mean, no, yeah, right. So like, here's the thing, right? Personally, I'm not gay. I'm not trans. I'm not like non-binary. I'm none of those things, right? And so this scene doesn't really like feel the same to me, right? I don't have the same emotional resonance. Though I do think it is a good scene, you know. Do I think it could have been a bit better? I mean, yeah, sure. But like, to me, the people who this scene was targeted the most got it, right? Like you said, Angela. Like you said. Hello, V. Hope you're doing well. I agree that's that there's weakness like this. Games. I mean, that is true, but I do think that there are some like there are ways like the previous games where you could finagle it, where you could be able to do it, right? Especially the way there was framing. The lighthouse is a immaterial location, right? And one question that's never really like directly answered, it is like implied that has been answered, is how do people get messages in the lighthouse, right? The implication is those little candle hop guys that somehow jump into the crossroads and like find you eventually, right? They're sending you the messages, but that was never really established, you know. And so it always like feels weird to me that like when especially when they invite people to the lighthouse, like Vorgoth and that lady. I don't care to remember her name because Vorgoth is just um. It's like, okay, yeah, you have how did they get in here? Who invited them? Fucking, how did they get here? Polara, what? You know, those kind of things like are a bit like weird in my head and kind of make a bit of a disconnect. But when you have like the Normandy, which is basically like just they literally in the future technology, they could send a message and then they're good. Okay, they can go there and that's fine. Especially because then the how those beats are or how those quests are revealed and shown are tied to the main quest progression. You know, but with Veilguard it is the same. It doesn't feel as obvious, right? It doesn't feel as natural because for a lot of Mass Effect 2 companions, it's like we need to like train them up and whatnot. Same for Veilguard, but they didn't like I think do it as well as Mass Effect 2 did it, if that makes sense. Also, I'm an inadequate mothers. It is such a heartbreaking line, man. I mean, it definitely is, right? It definitely is.
I was never taught how to.
My mom also said that she feared that she failed me, but unfortunately, a lot of I was more that she was sending Catholic guilt on me. Oh no, I can understand you, Angel Arts. My mom for the she also told. So Willow Chris writing. Oh no, yeah. I mean, like this thing has like affected a lot of people. I have seen people who have absolutely like felt heard, seen, and like absolutely so emotional doing it, right? So this isn't really like my forte, you know.
To be a mother. Under the Qun, children are raised by those suited to such pursuits. I trained as a scholar. I was taught to think critically, to analyze without passion, and correct mistakes. You need not tell me that I am an inadequate mother. I am aware.
Yeah, and yeah, I do agree with you, Zoltan. This is like such a good line, you know. Homer says, when playing as a mage, I forgot about the stuff since I was playing. Oh, I mean, yeah. I'm playing. How I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna like do because since there's 6 playthroughs, 6 origins, I'm gonna do all of them, but I'm gonna swap the weapons I use each time. So for my mage, I'm gonna use the staff first and then the orb, and then for my rogue, it's then gonna be like daggers and then try to be bow focused. Try, and then for the warrior, it's gonna be sword and shield and then two-handed. You ever can do that?
Then why did you leave?
When I see my child in danger, I act.
And this is an interesting thing, right? For all Shartan like spouts about being someone who's so connected to the Qun and understands it very fundamentally, still left for like an emotional reason, which I think is like such a good point, you know? Like I genuinely do think that is like such an amazing point, right? And especially because then you can see the crossroads she's at where she wants to still be part of the Qun, but she wants to still care for a child, right? Because she cares for that. And so it's like, I don't know, there's so much like good writing and good like logic with it, if that makes sense.
Here's the ginger.
We're gonna have to cover this later, okay? We're gonna have to go through Davrin's one, the reconciliation between Davrin and Lucanus. I love that like drinking scene when they were both just like chatting about.
Thank you.
That was good.
So...
And this is the part where I was like very like, oh wow.
Oh, I'm non-binary.
Immediately, and as I think Zerlton mentions as well, yeah, like yeah, like how clumsy it came out, right? And I think that's such a good point that you made, Zerlton, which is like, yeah, it is clumsy, right? Like literally, she sits down, not even like fully sitting down, fully going in. It's just like, oh yeah,
I'm non-binary.
And obviously, this is now where, like, for me personally, I'm not, you know, part of the group and whatnot. But I do think that, like, as Angel Arts said as well, is resonant to many people, you know, and I think that's good. It may not resonate well with me, but I do think that is good.
What is that?
I especially love how Shartan just like, what the fuck? What the? You mean? Not to be that person, but I'm sorry, V. I'm so terrible about that. Okay, for like 50 hours of the game, everyone was calling Tosh she, and then I kind of just like in my head like, oh yeah, she, right? And now it's gonna only until now where everyone's gonna call them they. I'm gonna have to adjust myself. My apologies.
I mean,
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
if you are neither a man nor a woman,
And I think this is so interesting, but by how again she's Kunari pilled, right? Kuhn pilled, where it's like she can't understand because this is the dichotomy, okay? The man and the woman. You can't be like some other.
then what
thing,
are you?
You know.
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
If this
No, and I do think this does like have some interesting points because like obviously Tosh isn't really great at explaining herself, right? She's great at like very particular thing. They because they are great at explaining like dragons and all that kind of stuff and the differences and how they work and all that kind of stuff. They're really good at that, you know. But when it comes to these kind of moments, right, they're not really great at it, and so they struggle a lot. And I like how she can't really like be able to like oh yeah,
Non-binary.
very very straightforward answer, not really answering the unasked question. And Shotton does try to, yeah, she does try to understand, you know, though not in like I think in a very good faith way. I know there's no malice behind it. Mistakes happen. Oh, okay, no. Oh, thanks, V.
I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
if this is because I have criticized your dress or
No, and this is interesting, Ryan, because then she says like, oh, is this because I criticize your dress and your manners, right? Like because I said like, man, you act like a dude, my girl, right? And I called like your friend a man, you know. It's because of that,
your manners,
It isn't.
which I think is cool, you know. And like, then Josh always says it isn't. Especially considering how blunt and direct Tosh is the way they do. Makes perfect. Yeah, it does make perfect sense, right? Again, I here's the thing, right? My theory holds true. No one has disproved this theory, okay? If Tosh was a man, right, and had the deepest voice you could imaginable, I think a lot of people wouldn't really care. Because I think a lot of people who disliked Tosh are coming from like a not just like a transphobic angle, but a misogynistic angle as well, right? You do not see this much hatred for trans men. Not that the trans men don't get hatred, they do, but they get a different kind of hatred, you know. Trans women, because again, if you're a man going to a woman, or like a woman to a non-binary person, it's sort of considered like weak and like feminine, and femininity is always considered like weak in a lot of cultures, Western culture. I'm sure I'm not sure why this. Not sure why white hair, gray or black something. Really, I didn't notice that. My Rook's hair was always gray. If you can see here. Like, my Rook's hair was always just gray, so I never noticed that. Also, I love how my Rook looks, okay? Sorry, I can't help it.
under the Kuhn, the term for one whose gender does not match the one given to them at birth was a Kunathlok.
And like, who said it? Oh yeah, Zoltan. And this is right, like, Charlotte Than is, like, trying to understand, like, hey, we actually know about this, okay? You're just a Kunathlok, right? You're just like your gender doesn't match your birth, and like that's fine, okay? Then you're like a dude, that's fine, right? But she's still like working in a framework, and like it is cool to see her like honestly trying to understand her, like understand them, you know. Trans men basically get ignored or called lost. Cis trans women get demonized, and us non-binary are seen as confused. Yeah, V, yeah. And that is like so. I don't want to say trans men have it better, but trans men definitely don't get as much hate, and it's much easier to be presented as a man, especially because like some social norms have allowed more feminine men to like exist, right? Especially because like being a dude just means have baggy clothes, right? You wear sweatpants a lot, you know. While with being like a trans woman or non-binary person, sort of like performativity, a bit different. People who attack Veilguard with this scene are people who haven't read the lore. Yeah, man, it is so funny to me that they haven't read the lore. Not even that, but they just didn't fucking think about it for a second, okay? Sten literally says to both Morgan and Wynne, hey, you can't be a woman mage, you know? You can't do that. That's wrong. You can't do that. And then it's just like, what do you, huh? So many people will not think about this scene and not take it to its logical conclusion. Like, because Sten is either saying, like, there are no female mages, right? Which is, like, completely fucking wild. And I don't think that's what the interpretation of it is. Or the interpretation is that they simply don't view gender the same way, right? They don't see gender and sex as, like, an equal thing. They gender is more formative of the role you play in society rather than, like, associated with yourself, you know? Like, again, if you were born like a weak-willed man, right? Like just a weak dude, you'd be a woman in society. Because, like, you know, like, oh, you're, again, the gender does not match the one given to them at birth, right? It's like, oh yeah, you're like weak, you can't really go in the army. Well, congratulations, you're a woman now. Okay. Like, this is the interesting, like, really cool part of, like, in our society. They're trans misogynistic, right? You may not have heard it, but Harry Styles wearing some dresses set the internet on fire. Avert, though he hadn't. Oh yeah. I remember that controversy. It was wild to me then, because it's like, again, like, who gives a shit? You know, who fucking cares? I'm not wearing a dress because, like, I don't like them. Okay, I'm not that kind of guy, right? But, like, if they want to wear it, who fucking cares? Okay, it's people who are worried that people around them or they themselves want that, you know? Just like, it's your problem, not mine. Also want to note that it makes sense that people in the north have sorry, I know you meant words, but Fords, that's so funny to me, Zelton. They're like, people in northern states just like have, for some reason, like Ford cars, and they're just driving them around. Okay, that's very funny. Trans and non-binary. There's also banter with Lace on how she says, "No, Krem is a trans man." I mean, yeah, right. Lace is the kind of person who just be like, "Oh, you're a woman? Couldn't tell." in the most oblivious, innocent way possible, you know. And I love her for that. Like Sten would say back in Origins, the looks at, like, why would a woman want to be a warrior? Right? Yeah. And that's not because that's not because the Q was like misogynistic. No, it was people who are women are not warriors, because why would they be? They're not suited for that task, right? Like, Sten's issue is that you call yourself a warrior and a woman. He's basically essentially saying, like, pick a fucking lane. You're either a man or a woman, you know? Magical advancements, you know. Hey, Dorian didn't say about the Fords into Winter, you know. Sten's saying on why women can't be Grey Warrens back in, yeah, man. It's like, it's wild to me how much these people didn't even fucking think about it. The people who did play Origins and heard that probably were just like, oh, okay, there must be, you know, which is just like such a lack of thought, you know. Because even back then, I remember thinking about it, thinking like, oh, that's weird. Why does Sten say that Wynne and Morgan, and if I'm playing as a mage myself, a female mage, why can't we be women? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. There must be something more going on. And then when it was revealed that, like, oh, the Q like that, oh, okay, makes sense now.
Perhaps you are like that.
Why do you have to keep picking at it? Why can't you just be happy for me?
Evatosh, shut.
And again, I think this does, like, portray, like, Tosh's character, right? They are very blunt, you know. They don't know how to handle social situations, and so their immediate reaction is literally like,
Was Akuneth
after Shortan says like that, is
Perhaps
like,
you are like that.
Why do you have
to, like, do this to me? Like, why can't you? Because, like, they're not thinking about it in, like, a dialogue sense, right? Like, we're having a back and forth. I'm trying to explain myself, you know. They're just like, okay, you're not accepting me, especially because, like, they had these feelings bottled up. They're, like, springing up, and now it's like attacking right now, you know. And I think that does, like, make sense for Tosh's, like, character, right? It really does. And I think a lot of people again, I think the issue isn't that Tosh is a bad character. They just don't like Tosh. I imagine if they'd meet people in real life like this, they'd just not be friends, right? Which is fine. If you don't want to be friends with these type of people, that's okay. But I don't think they make them this bad character. Especially because, like, one thing I don't like about it is I don't like how a lot of these people who dislike these kind of characters dislike them because they're badly written. They're not badly written. They just dislike them because they don't like their personality, you know? Which is fine. But I think that, like, makes you... It causes a lot of art to be more like, hey, you gotta, like, be very, like, amicable to the whims of the masses, right? Because I don't want to be upsetty spaghetti, you know? I thought he said that if the Qunari is set to become a fighter, they are considered man regardless of the sex. Or is it, yeah, I mean that is what Stan basically said. You know, sorry if I maybe not didn't say that way. I'm kind of falling apart now. It happens with these streams eventually. But that is basically what I was trying to say. That Stan basically said that hey, his issue was you can't call yourself a woman and a mage, or a woman and a warrior. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, you have to be one or the other. It wasn't that women can't be warriors or women can't be mages. It's you can't be both. You know, which is I think obviously implying that if you say yeah I'm a warrior and I'm a man, Stan would look at your tits and be like, oh okay cool, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. In 15 years, nobody has perfect memory, even if they just picked up Origins again last week. I mean, I have a pretty fucking good memory of Origins, okay? I played it like 12 times. Fucking everything is locked in this quest, okay? I can't remember the quest names for the life of me, okay? But I remember a lot. I remember so fucking much, okay? Like, you can ask me a lot about any quests in Origins, and I'll probably know about it, you know? Awakening's a bit more fuzzier, but I'm also good with Awakening.
Have to keep picking at it. Why can't you just be happy for me?
Evatosh, Chakra to Ebra.
So I'm
And just to say, because there was this prior to this confrontation, we did a quest with Tosh where they I think they were hunting a dragon, or if it was something else. I think it was something else. Regardless, we were doing that quest, and they basically explained what Chakra to Ebra, yeah, it was the dragon one, it was the Fence Scorcher, was, and they said it meant struggle with who we are, right? And like that's such a cool saying, right? And I think it can be used for positivity, because if you think about it in a way of like you struggle with who you are to become a better person, or you struggle with who you are as in like you just accept it and try to like live like that. Which I think there's like so much meaning with that, and especially for how Tosh is interpreting it, I think makes a lot of sense for their character.
struggle with who I am? Even if I don't feel like I fit, even if I feel wrong?
No, you misunderstood.
Then say it better! Why am I never enough for you?
Now that is so good, dude. And I love like how she was saying like no you just misunderstand, I don't mean like that, and then Tosh is just like out there saying like then say it better.
Why am I never enough for you?
And then I love just the way that like, you know, they look down and they just look so distraught about it, you know. It's such a perfect moment, you know. Dragon Age 2 have mixed game. Do you I mean I like it. I mean, personally, I like it a lot.
I will go. Thank you for inviting me to your home, Panahedan.
And I love just how like Tosh's mom like interacts with that scene. It's just like, okay, just go, just leave. It's just like after that scene, it's just like, I don't know. I initially when I first saw it, I wasn't necessarily like for it, but as I'm thinking about it more, I'm coming around to it a lot. I feel like in another timeline, Tosh would have become a Grey Warrant. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I think that is a good catch. You know, I think Tosh could have become a Warrant if instead of like from Parvolan it was Raveni. It was like Parvolan to like the Anderfels. I definitely can see like Tosh becoming a Grey Warden, you know.
I know she's your mother, but I don't like her. You good?
And one thing I want to say that I do,
but
like,
I don't like her.
praise Veilguard a lot for this is that the kind of options you have now, they're not like so contrasting where you have like fuck you, okay, comedic bint, you know. A lot of it's more like subtle and nuanced, I think, in that way, where it's like you're saying, okay, I'm so sorry, Tosh, that there wasn't really a great scene, I'm sorry, and like she needs time, like because you could really tell and that Shotan was like trying her best to understand even within her framework. Like she's wrong, just like outright, like you're still they them, you know, and like or your personal feelings on it. I like those like subtle nuances. It gives a lot more flavor. I like Dragon Age 2 mostly with the story and characters, but the reused areas and how you fight enemies in waves still. I mean, no, I can get you, Homer. I'm not particularly too miffed about that. Because I don't mind. You know, I personally don't mind. I don't personally mind doing the wave combat and the reused level assets, because like for the most part I kind of just like, okay, whatever, man. I love Dragon Age 2's combat personally. It's like my favorite in the series, you know, really my favorite gameplay style in like all of games. Because I just love it so much. And so to me, it just doesn't really that affect me. Though I do get how it does. Can't be mean to anyone. I mean, yeah, Ryan. Like this is literally you being mean.
I know she's your mother, but I don't like her. You good?
Yeah. I'm not hiding anymore. How she takes it is her problem.
And I like the way that Tosh takes it from. You know, Tosh is obviously frustrated, but like it's nice to see them like I'm out, and if she thinks it's an issue, then that's fine, right? She has like a support basis now that she no longer is reliant on her mother. I think it's good.
You sure?
Yeah. Come on. Don't let food go to waste.
And I gotta say, the food does look delicious. And I know this is obviously like a limitation because they couldn't like animate it, you know? So they just like stare at the food like a bit like, yes. You have to eat with your eyes first, you know? I can't wait to go through a playthrough playing a non-binary person reacting to this scene. Oh yeah, when I made my rook, I made a female rook and I made them trans, right? Because Bioware forced me to, right? At gunpoint. And when they did that, you know, I was like, okay, I'll deal with it, and I want to see how these like sort of scenes react. And I gotta say, all the scenes, Bosch really does allow you to define why you're trans and how like your experience with it as your personal character, right? And I think that's like really cool, because you could say like you've had a hard time with it, it was pretty, or there were like ups and downs, but like personally, right? Not like interpersonally, you know. And I think that's like, I think that is really really good, you know, especially when you have this scene as well. It does have a different context, it does have a different frame to it. And it's such a pretty rook. Why are the rooks so hot? I mean, falling with both rooks I made, how does it work? I fucking don't know, man. Like I don't even, okay, here's the thing, Ryan. My rook, I didn't put that much effort in, okay? The most effort I put into it was like the hairstyle and the horns, right? I also messed around with sliders to like a forehead size. But for the most part, this is like a default rook, but customized a bit. It didn't take me that long to make. Yet somehow my rook is absolutely fucking gorgeous, okay? A bombshell, you know? Look at them. Just, oh. Man. I'm oftentimes just like looking at my rook in cutscenes, I'm like, man, I made a hot ass rook, okay? Damn. I'm surprised you can't choose choose a non-binary identity in your dialogue. Trans, yeah, but not non-binary. Hope having them. I mean, that is true, Zelton. Gorgeous impact. Are you sure? No, no, you can. So like in the when you in the character creator, okay, you simply have to choose like your body type, and then you have to choose like your like gender, right? They, them, he, or she, her, right? And then when you do that, then the mirror scene basically says confirm trans identity or non-binary identity. So it is there. And as you can't choose a different gender identity of the character creator. I mean, I get that. Like, I don't think it's that miffed about it, where it's like, oh wait, I'm not sure. Maybe I should ask you, what do you mean by that, V? What do you mean by that? Because maybe you mean something else, and I'm just like going off on a weird tangent.
I care about Tosh, and I'm doing everything I can to show that. I don't want to be your enemy.
Then end this.
And again, I like how all this
Before you
dialogue
hurt
just like
her,
have such like
you will
interesting
only
like
bring
nuances.
her pain.
You'd know all about bringing Tosh pain, wouldn't you?
Yes. I was never
Draws
taught.
you on to Dalish Elf when playing as an elf, so you can have Dalish tattoo. I mean, yeah. Yeah. That is one weird thing. Like, there are some like good tattoo options. So obviously this is like the Vitar, right? And when I look at the tattoo options, right, the only ones I didn't really like any of them because all of them were elvish. You know, the only ones that weren't were like dwarven ones. That's fine, but even the dwarven ones are kind of like lacking.
Taught how to be a
I think it's trans, or maybe I read it wrong. Damn, I have to replay now. I mean, you have to replay Veilguard again. What a fucking stinker, What a fucking terrible time. Yeah, no, you can, because like when the text says like confirm like identity, it says trans and non-binary. I think I could be wrong.
mother.
That's not your call.
You are emotionally sloppy and lack the resolve she needs.
That's good, and then I want to like go here.
To be a mother.
Tosh, I'm so sorry.
No. It's okay.
Tosh.
I'm not hiding anymore.
Ooh, that Tosh is like so good, man. It's so good.
All of that was new for her. Just give her some time.
No. It's okay.
Tosh.
Never mind.
I'm not hiding anymore.
If she can't accept you for who you are, then she's a crappy mother.
She is who she is. I'm okay. I'm not hiding anymore.
Yeah. Overall, I wasn't like. Wait, hold on. I didn't pick a gender at the beginning of the game. You can pick a different later on. You can switch man to vice versa. Oh, is that what you mean? Oh, okay. No, I get you then. That is interesting. They didn't allow you to do that, but this is. I guess I can hold on. Let me just read the other message. I don't think we did. Yeah, but like, here's the thing, right? If you do like, if you're like a man going to a trans woman, or a woman going from to a trans man, or like the implication of like detransitioning, right? That kind of has to have a story purpose to it. Not a story purpose, but like a personal purpose to it, right? It has to be acknowledged within the narrative, right? Because that isn't just like a small thing that kind of happens, right? It's the same way that a lot of like old games allowed you to kind of like switch genders with your characters, because like who cares, right? It kind of feels like impersonal, right? Oh, that would have been really that would have been an amazing idea, Homer. That would have been an amazing idea. Oh, I mean, yeah, V as well. Though again, I don't think that's great. Booba, no, I mean, it's true. I don't think that's great either, because like, again, like being able to swap like genders is neat and all, but like again, if it was like in-game narrative purpose, right? I think that you would have to have a lot of support, and I think that would have required a lot of like writing to support and a lot of like other things to support as well. And this is where I want to like talk about at least something that I've always like thought about within like games in general, which is how do you represent like non-binary people and trans people, right? Like how do you do that, you know? Because there are like two ways to go about this. Like there are two ways to go about it, you know. You can either go about it by like telling a like trans or non-binary story, which Veilguard did, or you could just have them characters as exist, right? And this is obviously then who is your audience for? Tosh is for people who are non-binary themselves, trans themselves, and are trying to like be represented, and who are trying to like feel like represented, right? And I think Veilguard does that very successfully, right? But I think that kind of because here's another thing. Let's like swap the minority. Let's say like black people, right? Early on in like media, like black people just weren't represented and nor represented that well, and so like you could have the idea that the hey, you can have the idea that hey, all these like black stories should have all these black people should like be associated with the black stories, but obviously it doesn't make sense, right? Because like they should just be characters and they should just like be people that exist, right? Same with like non-binary trans people. Like I wonder often how, especially because like being a trans person and a non-binary person is not like obvious, right? Like despite the stereotypes some people might have, it's kind of hard to tell who a trans woman is and who a trans man is or a non-binary person is, right? Because like again, like for non-binary people it's a bit different. I know this is a very like hard topic to talk like off the cuff, but it's very hard to sort of discuss how they're supposed to be represented when if they're just like casual people, like just like people existing, characters existing, then you have to ask yourself the question of how do we do this without making them feel like clockable, right? Or without just like having an awkward scene where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm trans or binary. You know, it's hard to do it, you know. But then I think about it and I have to ask myself the question, fucking gives a shit? You know, like generally who does? In real life, a lot of people will genuinely just have to accept the fact that like, oh, I go by they them, and like you just move on and you live with that, right? Okay, cool, they're a non-binary person. And if they're like trans or something and you have like a scene where they're like, oh, they were this but now that, like okay, then like it's completely fine. You know, there's like no issue there either, right? Because why would there be an issue? Why would there be an issue with someone just like saying they were one thing and now another? Like to me it just doesn't. To me, I don't think like. Hold on. My dog demanding attention. To me, I don't think there is. I don't think that having a trans person or like non-binary people in the games, like in any video games or media, is an issue. Because eventually you're just gonna have to accept the reality that like sometimes it's gonna be a bit awkward. I don't know. I'll have to like maybe make a more of a structured video on it because I'm just kind of rambling and not necessarily sure if what I'm saying makes sense. You could take the gender abolitionist route and say, I mean, I might be a gender abolitionist, who knows? I am, by the way. Someone just said they just use the pronouns they ask you to. I mean, yeah, right. I'm more on the side of gender abolitionists because, like, when you eventually realize that, like, gender is literally just, like, fake and just, like, describes a role someone plays, and it's like, okay, cool. Then, like, literally the only reason you would use gender is a signifier for are and, like, what your perception should be, right? Like, how people should perceive, you know? Which is like, oh, okay. Literally fake. Homer says, you know, I think that the reason why Morgan doesn't mention is, I mean, that is true, Homer. I think that is like a reason they can write in, where it's like, why doesn't Kieran get mentioned? And it's like, oh, it's just to protect them. Which, yeah, right. Kieran being like shown off was a cool thing in Inquisition, but after the encounter with Morgan, I mean with Flemeth, it does like make a lot more sense to like hide them. Yeah. But anyways, I just want to ask you, just direct question, yes or no, do you agree, disagree, am I terrible, whatnot? do you think what I said about like trans people and also the whole like what I said about Tosh, does that like make sense to you? Like what I said, does that make sense? Or am I a bit off the mark? Makes sense. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Like, should we fucking Zilton? What do you mean? You're not glued to the screen 24/7. Fine, I'll repeat it. Okay. So my basic gist was, this. I think that Tosh's story within like Veilguard is like told really well, and it's definitely one of the two ways you could represent like non-binary people or trans people. No, it's called Zelton. It's cool. The way you can represent like trans people and non-binary people is you represent them and like tell their story, because that's the kind of like story you can tell about them, their experiences, how they feel, and like what they are, you know. Or the other one is where you can just like have a trans person or non-binary person just like thrown in the wild. Okay, just they're just there, they're a character. It's just like them being them, right? Now, obviously, there is some like complications with that, because being a trans person or non-binary person does take a lot of effort, because you have to sort of kind of reconfigure your, you know, outfits, wardrobes, and sometimes even like hormones to represent who you are. And so it's someone a bit more personal. The example I use is kind of like if you don't swap the minority and think of it as a black person instead of a trans person, non-binary person, and you can kind of see that like if there are a lot of stories that are just about black people's like experiences, they're valuable and whatnot, they're fine. But the best way I think like to represent them is just have them casually there, right? And like for trans, oftentimes I do worry sometimes on the side of representing like trans people and non-binary people, is like sometimes it's like, oh, the only stories with them literally just going to be their experiences, which is fine, but like I do feel like them being just people who are there is also just fine. But then an issue comes into play, which is how do you so the audience knows that they are trans or non-binary, right? You're gonna have to like be a bit blunt about it. But then again, my sort of like end of the answer is like, who fucking cares, right? Even if it is a bit blunt, even if it is genuinely just like, oh yeah, it's just blunt, you know. You can't really you can't really like dance around the fact that like it's gonna be blunt and who cares, right? As long as it's done well, as long as they feel real, as long as they're characters, then who cares if they are like if it is done a bit blunt, you know. That's like my general just zero tone. It makes sense, but gender evolves around cultures and eras. It's impossible to pin down, discuss in one country or another. It's cool to call. It'd be cool to call in and chat with you, but talk first. Maybe another time. I wouldn't mind call-ins. I do like just talking to people. I think I prefer them actually telling stories and experiences. Just putting a trans organism. I think we need the stories and experiences. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I obviously disagree with that. Because I don't think it's tokenism. Just to have them exist. Because my idea is that like I don't want the idea that a trans person, non-binary person to exist in a story. They have to be relegated to like stories talking about their experiences, you know. I feel like them just existing is also just fine. But I think what you say is like it's fair enough, right? I can understand how you can see a lot of like video games having like, and we have a trans person, and they're just like there. Like you could easily swap them out for like any other person, and they'd just be like the same. I can understand how you can view it as tokenism. What I'm saying, for some time we have stories until it becomes a norm, and the characters can be whatever. Okay, I agree with you that one as well. Thank you for indulging me on that. It's a thought I've had, and maybe I should make a video more dedicated this whole like topic, because I do feel like there's something here talk about like how trans people are represented within like media, and like how like the discussions oftentimes around them by like people who are in good faith, or like how can you represent a trans person or non-binary person without just like giving the game away? Because a lot of like trans people and non-binary people, I think, want to feel like seen and heard, but not like fuckable, right? Like making a trans woman who's like the most square-jawed motherfucker ever, okay? It's funny, right? But like a lot of trans people don't want that, you know? But yeah. What I'm saying is, for some time we have to have stories. You know, I read that. Some bad, but it's also a good sign. That is true, V. That is true. Even current political climate, you can kind of see a lot of people nowadays are kind of shifting away from that rainbow capitalism. You know, you can see that. You can genuinely tell that like so much of people are kind of like shifting away from that. And also bad. No, I mean, it's not necessarily tokenism. How to explain? Put in a trans their struggles. Erasure again. It would be cool. In I'll wait for the rest of your comment. Waiting for the comment. And oh, then I'll just talk and then oh, in a world where discrimination doesn't exist, but you can make people sympathetic to managers. Let me just think about it for more, Zeroton. No, I mean, not necessarily tokenism. How to explain? Put it in here. Struggles is, in my opinion, against erasure. Again, it would be cool in the world to exist, but you can make people sympathetic to minorities through stories of struggle. Yeah, that is true. I can understand what you mean, but like getting people to be sympathetic to minorities is like very easy to do through like struggle stories, right? Of like framing it as, hey, you have this obviously like racist white man like being bigoted against this black dude who's literally like done nothing wrong other than just being black, you know? And then like having that sort of like same struggle, but then like for trans or non-binary people, it's like, okay, people can be sympathetic because they're framed in such a sympathetic way, you know? Literally they've done nothing wrong other than existing, you know? And I can understand that as well, you know? I don't think you're wrong, you know, though I don't think them just being those characters, just being non-binary trans, is necessarily erasure. Because each queer person has their own experience, just like Anissa said. Yeah, and that's the other thing that's so difficult about this whole topic is like you trans people, non-binary people are not a monolith, okay? They're not just like, oh yeah, here we have the monolith trans person, okay, the person who speaks for all, like. You don't have fucking Lorax here, like saying, I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trans non-binary community. You know? You don't have this, like, dumbass, okay, like, saying, like, I speak for all trans people and non-binary people, okay? And their opinion is, this is shit. You know? You don't have that, right? It's far more complicated than that, because they're all, like, their own persons, right? Like, so yeah, I can get it. There will always be backlash because it's new to people, a lot of people, and some people like change. We still haven't fully, like Alton stories, it's gone better, but yeah. Oh, hey, Combi Fighter, hope you knew well. No, yeah, that is true. Like so much of the so much of like minorities being accepted always has to be like kind of oftentimes be like very slow, you know, where like you accept like acceptable elements, and then like the Overton window keeps pushing until it's like, okay, then it keeps getting more and more and more acceptable. In that case, what I mean under erasure is not showing the struggles, you know. Okay, no, I don't think you're being a bit dramatic, you know. Like if you think that it is, Also, I do find it funny. I see you viewers, okay? I see you plumped in after I show you the fucking Lorax, okay? I see you all coming here for my character's giant tits. I see you. I see you. Besides that, I don't think you're being dramatic, Zoltan. If you if you think that it's much better to have characters like showing their struggles, then that's fine. You know, that is like genuinely okay. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. You know? Get it in another 1,000 years, we may start getting to those. Oh yeah, boys. In 1,000 years, this whole discourse will be fucking gone. Okay. Oh boy, can't wait for 1,000 years. Okay, who's ready? Surprised the Harding companions return in Veilguard since we haven't seen that in Origins. Yeah, it is cool though. I like that, Homer. I like that and I do like how it's a bit different for each companion. Like I do think it is cool how different Nev reacts to Lucanus, right? Oh, I like when media introduces new cool things, culture, sexualities, worldviews. Man, media is such a powerful tool. Yeah, yeah. Though and this is more of a personal thing for me. I don't think media's purpose should be like introducing new stuff or like teaching lessons, right? It should have that, but I don't think it's the purpose of media, right? I think the purpose of media is just like is to like interact with things and do cool things, right? Or like feel cool things. I saw Harding for a split second. Let's go. Yeah, man. Combi Fighter. I did Harding's Quest. It's pretty good. What I hate is when minorities are in the game and immediate response for something they need a narrative. Oh yeah, that is so true, Black Sabbath, right? That is so true. There's oftentimes where a lot of people would say the weird, ridiculous thing of like there needs to be a narrative reason for why this minority is in. It's like, what do you mean, dude? Like oftentimes it feels like they have to be like, so we're in Africa, and then like, oh. But if it's like, oh yeah, we're in Europe, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't believe a black person is in Europe. Like, oh okay. And it also like kind of gives their game away, whether they think of it implicitly or not, explicitly or implicitly, that they can't think of a black person or like a minority in a fantasy world, right? That somehow that is too fantastical, you know. And like we don't need narrative reasons for cishet white characters. Yeah. Can't wait for Veilguard's 100th anniversary when they made it. It was a good game. Yeah, it's not a purpose. So, yeah, it is not a person. Yeah. So we're not ending the stream, okay? What I thought would be fun because I want to look at this and I thought it was very funny. Okay, oh boy, get Avowed fans. This might be you. You thought standing on the sidelines, okay? You were having some fun. It was all fun and games. Oh, look at us. We're Obsidian fans, okay? Our studio hasn't made Fallout New Vegas 2 in fucking decades, okay? You might have to fucking face the same, like, fucking ire that Veilguard had, which is you have a lot of people who just don't talk about the game itself and are actually, like, shadowboxing some, like, random fucking game, okay? Because now, by this person, early access reviews repeat mistakes by shilling for Avowed way too early. And if you check out her channel, right, part where I find very funny, where it's like, oh yeah, Avowed is going to the same path as Veilguard, which is like, oh yeah, okay, cool, get ready, okay? And you know what? This is very petty of me, okay? Very petty of me, okay? And I'm sorry for being this. Obsidian fans have made me fucking really despise them and Obsidian, so I'm sorry, man. The easiest way for me to hate a game or a franchise or anything is by basically saying like, did you know this franchise is better than your franchise? It's actually trash your franchise. This one is actually better, okay? I'll spite hate it. Yeah. Wondering if only Grey Warden Solus respect is the hero for Elden. I think so. No, I don't think Solus would respect the hero for Elden. Okay, his all my homies hate Nero. Yeah, same. And if you guys want to like watch a bit of this video as well, just to say, hold on, I'll make a poll. Where poll? There it is. Got a poll. Watch video. Yes. No. Let democracy decide. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh yeah, no. Solis would not respect the hero for Elden. Okay, not at all. Solis doesn't like the fact that the Grey Wardens are like destroying the Archdemons because he knows the fact that they're connected to the Evaners, right? And that like he's worried that if they destroy all the Archdemons, then like, oh shit, man, what's that gonna do to their prison? You know, are they just dead or are they gonna do something else? So like Solis wouldn't respect them. You know, he also wouldn't respect them because they're using the blight. You know. Also, you giving an example about white bigoted villains made me remember that someone said Velgard was the only has white men and women as villains. Fucking what? Solus exists, the bold fuck, but like, I don't think Gillenane is white. I don't think Gillenane is white at all. If anything, she's more black. I mean, I guess you could say like, oh, that's some like white skin there, but like, I don't know, man. I don't think Gillenane is white. I don't think Elgar'nan is white either. Like, this isn't a white man, okay? I'm sorry. This isn't a white... A white man cannot pull off that look, okay? Everybody in Bio... I mean, I imagine Homer, like, she's a fucking vile person, okay? And very unlikable. Solus doesn't respect anyone, in my opinion. I think Solus does respect some people. He definitely respects Varric. You know, I think he would respect. I think he would respect. A Tal-Vashoth Iron Bull, right? But I like, and what I think Solus respects a lot is Solus respects someone who has convictions, who has a good world view, and those kind of things, right? And one thing I remember very fondly, right? There's a dialogue line that you can say to Solus where Solus says like, "What will you do when everything that you have worked towards has fallen apart and all of it is lying in ruins, all because of your mistakes, you know?" And then one of the things you could say to Solus is, then I'll get back up and I'll keep trying to make it better. You know, and Solus likes that a lot because, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, that's literally what I was doing, you know, and he respects that. You know, he respects the conviction. He respects the drive to be better, you know. Urge is the epitome of that meme of the guy on a bike who sticks a pipe. Yeah, man, that's so true. It really is. So can this woman gained a massive following by line. So here's. Oh wait, hold on. I just want to talk. Yeah, the animation is crazy for Gillenane. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, I think it is funny. It is funny. Yeah, she's not a great person, you know. We'll let the polls just run a bit because I just want to quickly say something. Oh yeah, why she got popular? Yeah. So 2 reasons why I think she got popular. Okay, 2. One. Now this might be a weird thing for me to say, because people are like, oh, I mean, misogyny exists. I mean, yeah. She's a woman, right? Now here's the thing, right? She's a token woman. What do I mean by that? I mean that like she's a woman who agrees with male opinions, basically, right? She agrees with people who are basically saying like, the wokeisms have gotten us and they're destroying us. I, as a woman, disagree with it, right? It's literally just like they like the token woman who just says, nah, it's cool, Black Sabbath. It doesn't really deserve it, you know. It's that like the tokenism that these people want because it agrees with their opinion, right? It's literally that, right? They do it constantly, you know. They'll have minorities on as long as they agree with them, you know. That's the thing. And I think the other reason is because as a woman, she clearly is like leaning into a demographic, right? Like she clearly is, you know. She's not only she's traditionally beautiful, but also she's revealing a lot of herself, right? Which again is not me saying like she shouldn't do that. It's actually bad, morally bankrupt. It's more that that's why a lot of people are like flocking to her. Women placates to who like isn't step with the male opinions on the game, and also she's like hot, you know. It's like, okay, yeah, basically. It's about power. We stay hungry. Solus asking like, what are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do when the blighted gods have pressed against your walls and have destroyed everything you cared for? It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. Whatever. That's good. I see these people use same criticism of Velgard for Avowed. They not ruin another conversation for an RPG, which is very funny. Now, I don't think Avowed's more of an RPG than Velgard. I think it's just a different kind of RPG. It's an RPG where it's more about you playing, where you're just like a character, right? Where the RPG mechanics are more. Let me restart. Where the RPG mechanics are, hey, you are given options to make as many characters as possible, instead of like you're playing as one character and then like the options are about how to express that character. Though they might ruin another conversation with the RPGs. I mean, you know these kind of guys. Nero got banned from EA Play for about a week after she triggered so many people, but I wish she was banned from it. Yeah, right. I don't get it, you know. I don't know how much EA is like aware of what's going on really with the whole thing. Ever play tabletop game? I have tried once. It was a Warhammer game. It was fun. I like the dice. Pretty fun. It was with like a couple of friends. It was like a 3-way battle between Thousand Suns, a homebrew chapter, and orcs. It's so cool RPGs allows pronouns now. It's honestly hard to imagine a better fit with how many RPGs. I mean, yeah, right. Like, especially how Veilguard did it. Like, I'm sorry, Veilguard did like the trans representation like fucking right, man. Like, I'm often baffled. Oh, you mean the TTRPG? No. I have read a lot of it though. Not a lot. I have read some of it though, and I like the ideas that the TTRPG have, even though it's not canon. Like Veilguard has done such an amazing job on like being able to like role play as a trans person. Like, I'm often baffled by just like, oh wow, this is a cool option, you know? Like, this is actually wild, man. Like, this actually, I imagine people who are trans themselves and non-binary themselves actually feel about this, you know? Anyways, democracy has delivered us an 83% yes. We're going to do it. Okay. So we're only gonna do a bit. We're not gonna do the whole thing. Maybe for another stream we'll do it. So yeah. Yeah.
Salutation.
Shut up!
Salutation.
Shut up! I'm not even that mean.
Shut up!
I'm not even that
Silence! We're not doing this again, Maddie. We've been here before, my boy. We're not doing this again. Don't salutate me. Don't salutate. Do I look like I'm in the mood to be salutated? No.
Couple of
Yeah,
hours
that's what I'm
via
saying.
digital preview
Couple of hours. Some people are saying Fextra Life said 8 hours. So from 2 to 8, whatever.
opportunity provided by Xbox, so I got to play it here in the comfort of my own home. And this preview,
What are you pausing for? Fucking what? In this preview. He said preview. Fucking what, man?
He's really saying, I didn't get flown like anywhere. I played it in my house. He said, I played in my house.
Man, dude. Oh. Okay. With 2 times speed. I'm sorry, man. 1.5. I can't. I'm sorry, man. Pausing on this. He said nothing.
You know, I slept in my bed that I paid for, and I, ate the snacks that I paid for.
is really well timed because Xbox has been insisting for a while that Avowed was delayed out of 2024 because, there's just a lot of games coming out right now, particularly in the realm of Xbox. You had Stalker 2, you had Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 when it's actually playable, Black Ops 6, and of course Indiana
Fuck, man, I can't believe like Microsoft 2024 like pushed Avowed out. Okay, damn, who knew the Avowed fans would be fucking ravenous for Microsoft 2024 Flight Simulator. I think Avowed just like got pushed back because they're still busy in development. Okay, especially with the fact that like Baldur's Gate 3 released, right? There's no way Avowed can like be Baldur's Gate 3 or match it in any ways whatsoever. I'm losing my brain cells as she talks. Yeah, man. Not only just that, it's like, yo, literally the most irrelevant fucking shit. Okay, it's literally me going like,
Jones is coming up soon as well.
I forgot
So
that
kind of
Indiana
as soon, Maddie. What do you mean by as soon? Huh? Got him. Never watched Nero, but telling devs. I mean that is nasty, eh? Though I am watching this because I don't know. I like the enjoyment, I like the punishment. Yeah.
Made sense, but the timing of this preview is great because the rumor was that Avowed was going to release in November. So taking a look at this build was a odd angle for me to be like,
Okay.
what if it did come out this month? How would we be feeling about it? So it's a good
Man, this really is appealing to the comment. Oh man, dude, I can't. Oh.
I got to see the game's first open area in Dawnshore and explore all it had within it. I also got to see the game's prologue and character creator. I can talk about that with you. I'll get into all of it, but first, a quick word from today's.
Man, I don't get this, okay? I saw a clip on Standard Gaming. You might have to share that random one. I remember, I don't know, man. It's just sort of like weirdly nitpicky, okay? Because like, I don't know, you could probably have a lot of value to say that might like be against Maddie or like with Maddie. But like you have to listen to him and actually like reason it out instead of just going like, oh.
Sponsor. The following video is sponsored by.
Una mierda.
The main thing
you
that
skip-
stood out to
oh,
me
thank
while
you.
playing Avowed is the open-ended level design. This is really different from any Obsidian game you've played before. It's very different from Fallout New Vegas, where you could just talk your way through things. It's very different from the Outer Worlds,
It's given Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate, the city Baldur's
where you
Gate.
could
Me when my only game I've played is Baldur's Gate 3.
definitely shoot or talk your way through things. In this game, you can stealth. In this game, there are multiple options of approach, and I found it to be refreshingly great and fitting for an Obsidian game
Yeah,
because
no.
the choice wasn't
What? Isn't that literally all of a Huh? I'm confused. Maddie, explain to me. What do you mean?
Baldur's Gate 3.
different from Fallout New Vegas, where you could just open-ended level design. This is really
Open-ended level design, okay?
different from any Obsidian game you've played before. It's very different from Fallout New Vegas, where you could just talk your way through things. It's very different.
Yeah, but you could also do the other stuff. Like Fallout New Vegas wasn't just like the dialogue simulator of the game. It was a dialogue-heavy game, obviously, but like you could still do the stuff that you could still like complete quests you haven't acquired. I don't get that. Huh? Yeah, Spawn and Venom. Yeah. In Twitter, I told her to play Mega Man. Yeah, man. Equivalent of just saying like play garbage, man.
Different from the Outer World.
It's given.
Okay, Outer Worlds I haven't played, but like Fallout New Vegas, like I don't get that comparison. Open, that just feels like a marketing term to me. Okay.
In Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate, the city Baldur's
Where you
Gate.
could definitely shoot or talk your way through things. In this game, you can stealth. In this game, there are multiple options of approach, and I
That implies Maddie. Okay. Now this is an actual issue you can have with Maddie. Okay, like Maddie, you need to fucking tighten up the script. Okay, implying that like, oh yeah, by the by, like Fallout New Vegas didn't allow you to stealth. Like you could definitely say like stealth was bad in Fallout New Vegas, but saying like, oh yeah, you couldn't stealth is like, I don't know, it's weird.
found it to be refreshingly great and fitting for an Obsidian game
Yeah,
because
no.
the choice wasn't just in its dialogue and how I would handle.
That's literally like.
Well, I mean that's kind of the point of Obsidian games. I don't know. I feel like when I play an Obsidian games or Obsidian fans play an Obsidian game, they kind of like want a dialogue heavy thing. Okay, I feel like I don't know, man. You could make the criticism that a bunch of Obsidian games is more like a fucking like reading a textbook than like any other video game in existence. A lot of it's literally just like, okay, so what did the character mean by here? And you're reading like dense logs. Okay.
What's her name? From the Outer Worlds? Like, that's her haircut.
But also how I would crawl about the level.
Okay, so silent protagonist. Okay. Surely there's an address registering the X's. See,
And also, I do find it okay. So, hold on. Kind of gaming, new video. Oh, okay.
Because you
This
could
video is less funny though, because this is just her reacting.
sold. I might be able to find one. Hey, I just got here. I'm as lost as you. Okay, don't mind me if I'm quite skeptical about the game. I did like the Outer Worlds, so I am hoping, I'm generally hoping, I come to this with the hope that it's gonna be great and that it's gonna make me forget about the things that I don't like. Mainly this art style of this I don't care about, the colors I don't care about.
And this opening area where
I don't
normally-
like the UI at all.
The UI is fine. Okay.
I know that this might be because it's like this person is playing on controller. It's giving me PTSD, like the UI. PTSD, it's giving me the UI. I
Me when a UI design is for a console, damn.
don't like it. I don't like it. The font, there's something about the font that I don't with either.
they keep things tame, but it was really well done. And I was enjoying the moment-to-moment exploration of seeing things in the distance going, hey, what is that out there? And checking it out and finding something
Oh, Mr. Maddie. Yeah, man. In the distance, I can see something.
cool within. That was a great feeling that I've missed for a long while. But really, I think the level design clicked for me when I was approaching
I think that's a thing you could point out near hard. Like, what do you mean missing for a while? Like, fucking open world games still exist, you know?
a Zora
On top left. For a second. I don't get you, Zero Ton.
Font, there's something about
thing that I've missed for a long while.
Oh, the
But really, I think the
font.
level design clicked for me
I
when
don't
I
think
was
she
approaching
deserves the face. I mean, yeah, she definitely doesn't
Zora
deserve it.
base. And it was this fortress that was just full of enemies. And I went through pretty much head
Okay.
on up the middle. And it wasn't until afterwards that I was doing what I call a loot sweep, you know, checking out all the dead bodies, seeing what I missed along the way.
I
and
didn't
everyone's
Okay, cool. So, is this video really just her reacting?
maybe a little bit of
Holy shit, man!
Because again, I
can't
think the
do
real
much with
heartbeat of this game.
Silent Game you know, maybe we should watch the Silent Gaming video, okay? Because that's actually more informative than this fucking garbage. Like, random time skip.
Fortunately, we do
Just
have a
send
few
it to me.
months until the game's released where that is something I can imagine is ironed out. However, this doesn't scream to me, yeah, the game was pretty good to go, but we just wanted to give it a few extra months because that's better for our players. The frame rate does dip a decent amount when you're in third person as well.
I
It's
am not
definitely below
impressed
60
so
FPS,
far.
not coming close to 30, at least in my experience with playing
Cool. Use this video. Okay. I mean, like, I don't know, man. React Stream Andy, Standard Gaming. And you said the newest video. Both sides of this controversy need to stop.
Blocked
Wait,
nose?
both
Try
sides? What do you
signing
mean by that, slander? Both sides? I think is. What do you mean by that? Just got here. Oh, hey. Got here. Is she calling this man? I mean, she's mostly just eating on camera and just kind of saying, like, oh, Mr. Maddie, you're kind of bad. Yes, this one? Okay. What was it? 11. Was it 11? Oh gosh darn it. 11:20. Also, I don't know what he means by both sides. I think it's very clear who's the ones that are at fault, man.
don't fucking deserve it. You don't deserve it. You don't. You don't deserve it. You don't. Kill yourselves, generally. Generally.
Okay. I don't know, man. I have like, especially with this outfit, I'm like, man, dude. Man, one cannot make you look worse than you already do, okay? I can't say much of anything other than just saying like, wow, you are like so fucking terrible, you know? Man. Yeah, lol. I think that was good takes and he is always. I mean, I get it. Maybe. I don't know. I do often worry when someone says both sides of this controversy need to stop. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Who on Veilguard's like who amongst people who like Veilguard are like going at people saying like you're literally Hitler, alright, or like you should kill yourself if you don't like the game, okay? I have not seen that, okay? I have seen people have gone to this route of like, okay, I know Veilguard isn't the perfect game, but like I still like it. I still think it's a good game. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know, man. I often wonder that. Bottom line, racial statement. What is this? Bandit black artists out there who are looking for a parallel. Okay. This is bad. I don't know how this is relevant to anything. I imagine you'll say like, yeah, this is like, I don't know, man. I think the racist. I don't know. Talking about Matt Henson's take. Who's fucking Matt Henson? Matt Henson response. Oh yeah, Avowed has a. I'm drawing a line. He says as probably gonna do well. Maybe I don't know. Mr. Hudson. Hey, sickos.jpg. I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait to use the world. Okay. I don't. Okay, I imagine if you ask him like directly and say like, "Hey man, did you actually put like pronouns into this game just to make him mad?" He'd probably say no. He's just like joking a bit. What does he say?
Elon Musk and Grums and said sickos.jpg, basically calling them sickos, and said, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default, you sad little shit. Wow. People are wringing their hands over the statement and saying that Matt Hansen disrespected all gamers and that he disrespected Avowed's customers. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. A developer saying something disrespectful to Elon Musk and Grums is not somehow...
Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry, you know, I didn't see, you know, maybe I should listen more, okay? Maybe I should shut up. He was never talking about mid-sentence. Yeah. Yep. Maybe I should listen more. I don't know. I should maybe listen more. I've seen a lot of these people liking the Veilguard gets messaged. It's only one-sided. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe he just did this because it was like for clickbait and stuff like that, which is fine. Though I do think it's kind of like, again, weird to do that because like, come on. Like, it's very clear that one side is causing the issue, right? Literally, if like this whole cultural discourse never existed, right? Veilguard would have come out. A lot of people would say like, okay, fine, and then moved on. You know, I think Veilguard's a good game. You know, personally, controversially, I know. But I think it's fine. What? Huh? I think it's a good game though. Though the Veilguard wouldn't have like gotten this much attention though. Man, oh man. I thought that New Heart thing was gonna be a lot funnier than it was actually. Okay, it was actually very boring. You know, like, oh yeah, Chris Avellone. Be gone.
Position at Obsidian in the past 3 years.
If we rejected, you were rejected from the art position. Okay. The whole discussion is stupid. TLDR pronouns is allowed in Veilguard. I mean, yeah, okay, I see. That sucks, Random Wonder. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, there's not much for me to say other than just like it's kind of dumb, you know. Wild, man, wild. I mean, yeah. Though I wonder, though I do wonder, though, how well Avowed will compare. Sort of 9% of gaming countries. Yeah, it is. I do wonder, how Avowed will compare. I was just print. Oh, okay. I do wonder how Avowed will compare to, like Veilguard when it comes to the whole like pronoun or like the cultural war stuff. Because while Obsidian does get their fair share, BioWare is always normally the ones who get it the worst. You know, I don't remember a controversy where Obsidian doing like having a gay character in led to one of the developers like resigning. You know, every Dragon Age has received backlash for. Yeah, that is true. Right? Yeah, Homer. Yeah, and I do wonder. I think Avowed will do fine, like ultimately. Though I don't think it's gonna like okay, here's the thing, right? I anticipate that a lot of Avowed's like reviews will literally just be did you know Obsidian has fallen? They haven't made Fallout New Vegas or KOTOR 2 again. I think a lot of that will happen. Not to the same extent that Bioware has it, but it will happen. A lot of people say that with the Outer Worlds, and a lot of people will say that to Obsidian as well. Which I think will be, yeah. But other than that, I don't know what else to do. I was hoping that your video would be a bit more substantial, but no, it's just her randomly reacting. Okay. Man. How fucking nothing that was. I don't know, man. I'm kind of deflated now. What am I supposed to do with that, you know? The only thing I'm concerned for Avowed is the release that, like... maybe, but, like, I don't think that's gonna be, like, that much of an issue, though. Because, like, Monster Hunter Wilds, like, I don't think the people who like Monster Hunter Wilds are, like, necessarily the same kind of people who like Avowed or the kind of RPGs or games that Obsidian makes, right? As for, like, AC Shadows, same deal, right? I think there isn't much overlap, right? It would be much more concerned if Avowed is being released alongside, like, Baldur's Gate 3 or something. Like, whatever Larian's next game is, right? Then there will definitely be a lot of overlap, and then definitely a lot of sales will be hurt. Criticism is fine, encouraging even for the sake of a better game, but to the point of actual problems. Yeah, Ryan. The thing is, Ryan, a lot of people don't really know how to do, Ryan, because they never really thought about it. Giving good criticism, actionable, very hard to do, because oftentimes you have to not only understand what's wrong, but understand how it can be better. You know, like, and to understand how it can be better, you have to have an intimate understanding of the development process and creative process, right? Be productive, not destructive. Yeah. A lot of people are great at identifying issues, but they're not great at giving solutions or, like, anything like that. You know, it is also harmful in the fact that so much online discourse is just like, oh yeah, time to have, you know, time to have all of gaming discourse. Man, I'm out of it. Time to have all gaming discourse basically revolve around controversy, okay? Where we target one developer or studio or game and just make that the point, you know? Imagine Larian says Baldur's Gate 4. Oh my gosh, that'd be such a fucking dick move, you know? Sven Vanecki, he fucking like... Dumbasses don't even know what I'm about to do, okay? And then he announces Baldur's Gate 4 on this next year, that same day, and it's just like, congrats, we're playing a game of chicken. You're gonna move, or we're gonna make bang, you know? Get ready to become was Obsidian, not is Obsidian, you know? That would be very funny. Though I do wonder if Larian will announce anything. But yeah. Man, dude, I'm so excited for December 4th, because I want to go through and see all the comments and answers and questions for Veilguard by the developers. Man, I'm ready, dudes. I'm ready. I feel like people comparing Origins to Veilguard is just unfair. I don't think it's unfair, though. I do think a lot of those, like, comparisons are missing the fundamental fact that they are all the same RPG. You know. Even, like, here's the thing. Okay. Lads. Because I remember I showed this off a while ago. Where I talked about, that the David Gator answered some of my questions. And he said that, right here, if we can load, that, like, Hawk had a history, a place in the world, a family, and it was a predefined as the Dragon Age, Origins wouldn't. So, like, fundamentally, from David Gator's own mouth, he thinks they're all the same RPG, you know? I'm excited for the Circle of Stars and Shadow. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Larian is, like, making more classes and, more subclasses and whatnot, but I'm not as excited. A majority of my time playing Baldur's Gate 3, it was literally me just, like, clicking on an ability, then moving the mouse, going, like, Still use a spell slot. I don't want to use a spell slot. Maybe I do want to use. No, I'm just gonna attack. Wait, can I sneak attack? No, I can't. Oh, I wasted an action. Oh, damn it. You know? I can't wait for Baldur's Gate 4 being insufferably compared to Baldur's Gate 3. Fucking get ready, Larian fans, okay? Get ready for Larian to not give a shit about the prior games and literally retcon everything, or retcon specific things, but in annoying ways. Get ready, buddy. Baby. I cannot wait for the day that there are videos saying Larian has fallen. Larian has fallen. Some of the questions in Reddit anime is quite pitiful. Yeah. Dragon, Age, Bell, Card, ask me. Yeah, like, some of them already are very dumb and stupid, you know? Like, so much of them are probably going to be banned, which are literally like, so BioWare, why are you literally, the worst video game company ever, okay? Like, literally this. My main question revolves around the story narrative, since I think that's probably strongest. Discounting world states, okay, that's fine. And it was like, called some or is it visual design? Okay. On reading this, maybe it wasn't that bad. Oh, hot mess. Okay. Judging by certain things. Okay. The game's name was changed because the focus on companions with the options to have unprompted conversations with them was completely rude. Now we don't have the chance to get to know them and ask questions. Okay, I think this is a dumb question. I'm sorry, what? We do get to know our companions. Some data mining by fans that reveal a few choices can choice to limit our interactions with our companions to very cutscenes. I don't know, man. I think you can think for your fucking self, okay, on why they did that. Be adding more content. That's a no. It's often perceived that devs and narratives avoid some moral complexities. Latest presenting. Do you agree? Yeah, like that. Okay. Was the twist in the secret ending something that was part of 9? Okay. So far, some of it's good, but I think some of them are just like easily answerable. Like, so much of it is like, so why is Veilguard inconsistent? You can just simply ask the fucking question of like, EA, I guess? I don't know, man. Larian's the other one. I mean, yeah, that is true, but you know, Sven Vinecki can always be, you know, having one in the chamber. To be honest, I don't think BioWare should do the Q&A. Some people will scream the cherry pick. I mean, they will do that, but I think it's fine that BioWare is going to do that. Oh man, I should. I'm gonna have to ask my question. What was my question? My question was regarding around like development stuff. What was it? The question, I can't remember. I remember I said this on stream as well. Was it about like engine, something like that? Huh. I think it was will Veilguard, or no, I can't remember. I think it was about like will the next Dragon Age game use Mass Effect? Like that. I can't remember. I'll have to think about it again before I do that. I asked the question if they are going to increase the character slot for consoles. Oh, okay, I mean, I think that's fair. I actually do hope that they become more small content and consoles and stuff. Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah. I mean, I think adding stuff like increased like character slots is fine. You know. I personally don't want Veilguard to have DLC. If anything, more cosmetic stuff through patch. Yeah, right. I think that's fine. I wouldn't really care because I don't do that, right? But I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't particularly mind that they're not doing DLC, right? I think it's fine. The only DLC I would like is more. I haven't seen the ending, right? But I know this is a constant issue with a lot of like BioWare games. I would have liked a sort of extended epilogue scene where I can kind of like get the gist of my companions and stuff. Would love that. I don't think they will spend more time on Veilguard. Dwarf DLC. Haikyuu Warrior, so true. That's why I have a Haikyuu. I do hopefully Vilgar DLC worth it. That'd be nice. Yeah. I do. I can't. Okay, all the questions I want to ask are questions they can't answer, right? That they will refuse to answer, which is literally like, so what? So after Mass Effect is done, what will be the next game, right? Obviously, can't answer that question. It's too far in the future, and they can't like make promises like. Other questions like developmental stuff like, so why did EA fucking bust your kneecaps? Okay, they can't answer that because an EA person is literally looking at them saying like, if you fucking answer that question, we're gonna kill you. You know. I can't ask about like the live service thing because they're not gonna answer that. Like, what question can I actually ask that won't just be like ignored because they can't answer it? What is the question? Because I guarantee you, okay, a lot of these questions aren't gonna be answered. Like, I'm sorry, man. So many like BioWare will only like either reiterate the point, or something like that, or like. Again, like all out cartoony, fucking fine, dude. That's a fan. You're very smart, you know. Because these are dumb fucking answers. Okay, these are dumb fucking questions with answers that already exist. You know? Just to think about it. Golden Egg would be cool though. I mean, Homer, that is true for that team, but BioWare is very different. Okay, you'll need like the fucking heavens to shake for BioWare to do anything. Okay. BioWare is notorious for not doing what their fans want within a game, okay? The Mass Effect 3 ending only existed because people bitched so much, okay? Like, it wasn't just, like, the normal, like, some posts got popular. It was, like, legitimately so many people, like, campaigned, absolutely demanded, and was just, like, physical items were being sent by BioWare demanding for a new ending for Mass Effect 3. Like, and even then, the Mass Effect 3 ending wasn't that much, you know? Nucking appearing in Veilguard, I want to see that. That'd be cool. I hate the rotate between ME and DA release. Yeah. I also want to ask, like, hey, will you guys make a new IP? They can't answer that question because one, if they are doing that, they're not gonna my phone died. They're not gonna answer that because if they are working on a new IP, they just can't do that because it might fall through. You know. And if they do, you know, it's gonna set weird expectations and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, what question can I? Can't remember. Some people think you are woke and suck ass. Are you woke and do you suck ass? Perfect question. Perfect question. Let me see the Inquisitor hold Black Hole's hand. Yeah, that'd be cool. So I'm not sure BioWare's gonna do any of that kind of stuff. I can't ask if they're gonna be like a Dragon Rage remaster because they're not gonna answer that. Man, I have no idea what I want to ask. All the data suffered in the south. Are there any plans future? Okay, they can't answer that. The most of the way they could answer this is basically like, we might. I don't know. Romances felt more in the background in previous games, and a lot of people are asking for a path. But I know, but I want to know. The romances felt more of a background. I don't know. I disagree with that because I don't really think it is that different from prior games. Yeah, I don't. Although we finally got an answer to a lot of questions, mainly the blight and also how it's tied up to the themes of regret and the themes like explore. I think that's a bit better. Recently, the lead writer of the previous game commented the series followed said I thought I stick. Fuck. Not gonna answer this. Not gonna answer this. I believe I said there's indie. Okay, not gonna happen. Okay, that can be answered then. Yeah, so many of these questions aren't gonna be answered, or they've already been answered. They just have to think about it. I don't know. Yeah, that is true, V. I'll ask that then. Cake or pie? I would like to know how long Veilguard Inquisition's keep will be supported. Yeah, though I don't think BioWare can answer that question because they're not in that realm. I mean, if Mass Effect 5 is coming out, then they should have a smaller. I mean, that is true, Homer. They probably do have that. Just want them to. I mean, that would be cool. Black Sabbath. Based on reception in terms of sales, point how hopeful I can found recently this installment. Will there be an attempt to drive? So many of these questions are literally just like, hey Bioware, why can't you answer these questions that you can't answer? Okay. Fucking fire, dude. Oh, okay. What was the motivation behind the writing the Inquisitive missives and the Ultimate Fate of Southern? What? What was the motivation behind writing the Inquisitor's missive and the Ultimate Fate of the Southern Thetis? Is that an area you? I think the motivation was to set up like the elven gods as like a threat. You know, nothing more threatening than having the entire South being fucking drowned in Darkspawn. How can you not fucking understand that, dude? Like saying, is there? Will you revisit this area in the games? Like it's always a possibility. You know, Bioware can't confirm that. The most Bioware will say is like, yeah, sure, we might revisit it. The question is the results of the discussion have been found. Launch and occurs as the project. They can answer that. Neat. Ask them to patch. Woo! I hope you're doing. Will you get Gary McKay in the office again and ask where you as a had for blood. Also for fine. That's good. The studio is now lost model. Nah. I mean, you use some buyers. Catching some slaves in cages. I get it, but I think that's unrealistic. Okay, you can't ask Bioware that because they're gonna say like we're not gonna do DLC stuff, right? It would be nice, right? But I don't think those are questions you can really ask. Question they can ask. The question I can ask. That can actually result in insight. Yeah, because so much. Oh, the only way they do DLC is if their sales of the game justifies it. I mean, that is true, Hikey Warrior. Will Dragon will the next game after Mass Effect? Will the next game after Mass Effect whether that will the next game after Mass Effect whether that be, hold on, top level comments need to be questions. If not, we will not respond. Try to keep it one. Okay. Point. Then fire piece. And 3 points. Will the next Mass Effect game after Mass Effect, whether that be Dragon Age or new developed on Unreal Engine, or will Dragon Age? Yeah, I think that's fine. Short, simple question. We have some nice, funny joke ones. I think that's fine. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. No, I did watch that Haikyuu Warrior. It is really good. It is interesting to see it like coming back to somewhat. Obviously, a lot of expansions, as Mogdera said, were literally just to like revitalize the game and have it have a longer lifespan. But obviously now it's kind of like shifted where it's more like sort of, hey, maybe this game has like unexplored ideas we could do it. Like Throne of Ball, like the Throne of Ball was going to be a new game, but it was made into expansion. I think it's interesting. Hope you're doing well. Oh no, I'm doing good. Are there any plans to explore other ages and this? I mean, I already answered my 3 questions. Sorry. That is a good question though. Even knowing that the meteorite in Origins is supposed to be Superman reference, it actually is supposed to be big curve. Yeah, that is so true, V. So true. Ask why not Mass Effect 5 on Origins. Fucking missed my chance, dude. Holy shit. I should have asked that instead. Now I can't answer the question again. Damn it. That'd have been good though, you know. Why is Mass Effect 5 not gonna be on... Why is Mass Effect 5 not gonna be developed on the Dragon Age Origins engine, okay? Why were you hacks? So true. Where's the scaled ones? Oh, I'm so bad at this, dude. You guys are coming out with... Why are you guys coming out with the good questions now, dude? Why weren't you doing this before? Man, dude. I was like, okay, I need to ask some questions. What I'm gonna ask, and you guys were staying silent for all of this. Okay, what are you doing, man? Okay, fine, whatever. Your loss, eh? We're not gonna get to understand what the scaled ones are now. I asked them. I asked them if we're getting more Evanurus content. Yeah, but that's like the DLC stuff. Buyer's obvious answer is gonna be like, nah, man. I should have asked if Dragon Age Absolution storyline is going to resolve in it and no cliffhanger. I mean, I think that's a good question as well. Someone else can post 3 times. I mean, yeah. Why is Meryl so cute? B, why are you doing this? Why are you coming out with the good questions now, dude? Well, I mean, you did say the cake or pie. So actually, nah, you did have some good questions. Though I do think this is like fine. The questions I asked. I like to imagine they actually make a Dragon Age Origins 2 remaster, or as a way to tease themselves after work, and then proceed to make Mass. That's so funny, Zelda. Holy shit. They fucking are in the forges of fire, okay, learning this like old ass code of this old ass engine of these last games, okay, and then eventually they're like, okay boys, we did it, we mastered real-time with pause gameplay, okay, we did it, and now we're gonna make Mass Effect 5. Oh, like the whole we're gonna develop on Unreal Engine 5 was a whole fucking psyop, okay. It's like, oh no, that was fake, okay. Man, I came up with an amazing question before about sucking. You just okay, Supremacy, okay, I'll be honest, okay, because I'm an honest guy, I didn't think that was a question. I didn't think that was actually meant for this thing, sorry. Compliment them for the Canary Cookie reference. I mean, like, I can't do that now. Set in stone. I would love Dragon Age 2 remaster. The writing characters are outstanding. Wouldn't need more voice lines, just better locations. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, literally, Dragon Age 2 could have been, like, such a whole classic game if it just had like a couple of more dungeons, you know. So many people forget that Origins has as many reused levels as 2, you know. It just hides it better. There's more variety. I feel like if they're going to do an Origins remake, then it's going to be new engine with Vel'God's combat. I mean, okay, here's the thing, Homer. If it's going to be a new engine, why would they do that? You know what happened when Dragon Age went onto a new engine? They made Inquisition, right? I don't think if they do a new engine like Unreal or something else, they're going to do, yeah, let's do Vel'God's combat. They're going to do like something closer to Inquisition, you know, because that is what they did with Inquisition. You know, they had the opportunity to make Inquisition's gameplay different from Origins or 2, but they didn't. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, Homer. Did a good job if so. I never got the feeling I went somewhere twice in Origins. Yeah, Ryan, who would win, Shepard or the Warden? Shepard. I'm sorry, man. He has a fucking gun. And potentially a biotic. I'm sorry, you could say, but what about a Blood Mage Warden? I'm sorry, man. Blood Mage meet gun. You are not going to survive. I don't know, spell it. You're not gonna survive this thing, okay? I'm sorry, man. You're not surviving this gun. Okay, you're not surviving this gun at all. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Based on how optimized, that is probably would stick with Frostbite. I don't. Okay, good night, Random Warrior. Enjoy, sleep well. No, I don't think they would stick with Frostbite Haikyuu Warrior. Here's the thing, right? BioWare was given when BioWare moved to Frostbite, right? The sort of politics behind the scene was EA was basically saying, hey, Zoltan, you cursed guy, cursed person, make it an oiled up in a Torkov, okay? That's much better than my idea. Much better than my idea. But anyways, I don't think they're going to stick with Frostbite because the reason they chose Frostbite originally was because EA basically made them have the choice of use an in-house engine, which wouldn't really work for Mass Effect because Mass Effect isn't a CRPG, you know, or use an buy in-house engine, use EA's engine, or use your own engine, right? Like those were the two options. They couldn't use Unreal because that wasn't a possibility, you know. So literally they had the choice between Frostbite or their own engine, right? And that just wasn't a viable decision for them to make. So Frostbite was the only decision, you know. But now that like Mass Effect basically said like, hey, we're going to Unreal Engine, that possibility was opened up. And I can't imagine BioWare not taking the opportunity to develop on Unreal because it's a lot more easier to do it than Frostbite, you know. Frostbite can have use if they treated it properly and reused tools and assets instead of what like Andromeda and Anthem did, which is let's not do that. And let's actually make an inventory system 3 times over. Although if Origins remake would happen, then the Warden would be voiced, which would be controversial. Who fucking cares, okay? I don't care. Make my Warden voiced, okay? I want to voice Warden, okay? I didn't give a shit. Like, here's the thing, right? One of the reasons why I can't really connect with my Hero Ferelden as well is because they're not voiced. I'm sorry, man. I can't connect to an unvoiced protagonist as well. Because all I'm thinking of, like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know who you are saying that, like, this makes me more immersive, okay? They have a voice. You just don't hear it, you know? I don't want Inquisition combat. The Mercenary doesn't work. I'm sorry, Comic Fighter. That's gonna be BioWare's way, okay? Like, jokes aside, I do think legitimately if Veilguard was like developed immediately after Inquisition, right? Like somehow the Andromeda team and Anthem team kind of like bursted into flames or something. And it was only like Veilguard that was left in the ashes. We would have just had Inquisition's gameplay. Because why wouldn't we? You know, why wouldn't we? Oh, okay. Yeah, Haikyuu Warrior, they did. Mass Effect 5 engine. Yeah, Mass Effect 5 is going to all but confirmed, but then somewhere else they did confirm it. Where was it? Oh gosh darn it. There was a lot of like behind the scenes leading up to the reveal, but like it is basically revealed. What is this? Is there an Exodus trailer? Was this literally just like never mind? Clickbaiting title being clickbait. But yeah. Is it better for RPGs than Frostbite for sure? It's not that okay. So Unreal Engine is a shooter engine. It's literally the engine that was used for Gears of War and for Unreal Tournament, right? But the difference is Unreal Engine is a lot more moldable, right? It is a lot easier to take shape to become a different genre than any other like engine out there, right? Other than like Unity. But Unreal Engine is good for RPGs. Yeah, Haikyuu Warrior. Like Frostbite's strengths are visual fidelity, not RPG system. I wanted the voice that wanted to appear in Dragon Age 2. I wanted the voice wanted to be in Origins. You know? I don't care about the voice that's unvoiced debate, but I do hate when people compare dialogue options. Obviously, one is way more work than the other. I mean, yeah, Ryan. Once you go Veilguard combat, you can't go back along. Yeah, I do like Veilguard's combat though. You know. Also agree. Yeah, I'm glad we all agree. It's more libraries to assets to system development. More libraries to asset in system development. Okay, I have some game development knowledge, okay, but Haikyuu Warrior, you're literally blowing past me, okay? I have no idea what that means. I would hate Inquisition's combat less if the enemies were such damage sponges and if it did more than hold down the attack button while sometimes activating my skills. I mean, that is true. I think Inquisition's combat is fine. I just think there are some like annoying aspects to it. Like if you just like clicked a button and then like it attacked for you and then you use abilities occasionally, I think a lot of people would be more fine with it. You know, it wouldn't be like perfect, but more people would be better with it. Apparently, the studio that Macworld's founders shut down, but their operations. Oh yeah, I remember seeing a tweet about that. It's so funny to me, because it just reinforces my point that like, you can't have these people who want to make like AAA studios, like games without like without the foundations to make them right. Macworld Studios had like I think NetEase as a publisher, but they needed more than that. You know, I want my Hawk to be in a dire situation, then Over the Rising comes for badass. Blowing away enemies that are threatening the Hawk, and writes up to here says, "Well, my cousin, oh man, dude, that'd be so." Have the Emil Warden just like walking up saying like, "Hello, cousin. We have some relationship, you know. I'm an Emil, you know. You're a Hawk. You're a Hawk." It's like, oh man, that'd be so cool, dude. That would be so cool. It means there's already so much work pre-made with the Unreal Engine. Oh, is that what you mean, Haikyuu? Yeah, then I agree. Yeah. Which I think is the biggest issue with Veilguard is the fact that it had to be built off of Anthem, which made it a lot harder for it to be just an RPG. You know, as an RPG, it's like, oh, okay, can't do that because we have to get rid of the live service elements. You know, and we're spending a lot of time and resources on that. You know, again, if Inquisition like somehow molded the Frostbite engine to become an RPG, and if it was able to just like go directly to, you know, Inquisition 2 basically, then like it would have like been a lot better. But with Unreal Engine, it'll like remove a lot of those things and make it a lot easier to just make it an RPG, which will be great for for Dragon Age or whatever the next game is after Mass Effect. I want Warden, Hawk, and Inquisitor, and Rook therapy session because clearly the first three protagonists have some fucking baggage. Yeah, man. Rook, like Rook for the most part is like a fairly stable person. Okay. There's obviously like some moments where they're like a bit frazzled, a bit unhinged. But for the most part, like they have the least issue going on. You know, you have like the Dwarven noble commoners just like crying their eyes out, like, "Why did Lesky betray me? Why did he betray me?" Then you have the then you have like Hawk saying like, "My fucking mom's dead." Okay, holy shit, man, in the most horrific way possible. And then you have the Inquisitor leveling and he says like, "I somehow accidentally killed my clan," you know, holy shit, Solus, you bitch, kind of things, you know. Unreal Engine might give them more time / resources with dialogue complexity. I think that is the case. Haikyuu Warrior, I think that's the case, and not only that, but they were able to accomplish a lot of dialogue complexity within Veilguard. So I think Bioware has the framework and the mindset to be able to accomplish that. So I think, despite some of the failings that Veilguard has, I think it has a lot of potential. You know, a lot of potential. Hire Bunleth to lead development for the next game. Fuck. Oh, you mean this person? Oh yeah, yeah. I completely agree. We need our own version of Mario Kart in Dragon Age, and we need BioWare Kart. Okay, BioWare, make this happen. Okay, we did. We all need it. We all know we need it. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, this person. Oh man, so true. My thing load. Yeah, man. We need this person, yeah. I completely agree. I completely agree. Our management team has also changed a lot, so I'm sure they will be more supportive for the devs, I hope. Yeah, I think, okay, and here's the thing, Ryan. Super BioWare Bros Ultimate, so, that is beyond real. Oh my gosh, dude, that is so true. So true. Super BioWare Ultimate. Oh my god. That is really good, man. I can't believe Commander Shepard has the fucking worst dash in. Okay, he's unplayable. Okay, F tier character. Good voice lines though. Yeah, I think BioWare's management did better. I think a lot of the management issues, because here's the thing, Ryan. You can say whatever you say about like Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. I think they had some good management, right? Shepard versus Inquisitor, best of 3. Oh yeah, man, you can't get me on my Inquisitor game, okay? I can wave dash my fucking ass off. Can't do that, okay? You'll be absolutely devastated, Ryan. And my Inquisitor has a broken ability, called Fade Explosion, okay? And you just can't beat that, okay? It's a broken character, broken in this like a very unbalanced game, and I will exploit it to win. Get ready. But yeah, just finish my point. I do think that, like, whatever you want to say about Dragon Age 2 or Inquisition's, like the games themselves, I think the management is a lot better than like the Mass Effect teams, because a lot of the Mass Effect teams are very like hierarchical, which led to a lot of the issues being exposed later on. And some of the big issues with BioWare in general were mostly from EA, not really themselves. And I think like which I know, I do think that BioWare's team, as Combi Fighter says, is going to be a bit better, or management team a bit better. Ugh. Man, dude, I can't. Man, 100% totally free. I shouldn't like scroll down. I I don't know. Anyways, I think though it might be time to go. Unless any of you have like last things to say or suggest. What else is? Well, you too, LeJohn. Last question: what do you think should be? What do you think should be BioWare's biggest learning? Okay, so I have two answers to this question. Okay, the joke answer: murder EA, take over, make EA a RPG studio. Okay. The real answer though is something I hope that they learn is that they should try their best to read as much of their tools as possible, okay, and try to like enable themselves to just basically have, okay, here are our tools for these games, and we're going to develop it and just like continue onward, right? That is going to be it, you know, because I think so many of the issues with Andromeda and Anthem were stemmed from the fact that it wasn't that the team weren't there, it wasn't that the money wasn't there or anything. It was that the fact that they had to basically make an RPG from an engine that wasn't an RPG, you know. And I hope that they respect Unreal Engine enough to be able to like it to its fullest capacity, right? Even if they can break it more, you know. Yeah. No U2V, stay safe. But yeah, and yeah, maybe another lesson Veilguard is mostly just like I don't know. How do I say? John Epler said something to the effect of, we shouldn't try to appeal to everyone because in that end we appeal to no one. And I think John Epler was implying a lot more than he was letting on. And I think John Epler, if you ask him, like in a dark corner, drunk, no one will know but you and him, he will say like, maybe we should return to like Origins style of gameplay, right, for Dragon Age. Maybe that should have been a good thing. Maybe we should like have an art style more reminiscent of that, you know. Because I do think that like John Epler does want that sort of like identity, and like even if it doesn't appeal to everyone, it still like it still appeals to the people it intends to appeal to, you know. So Zerltoniki, you made a bad mistake here. You said my last thing to say is cheese wheel. Then you said, thanks for the stream, it was fun and epic. Okay. I hope they learn to stop copying everyone else's homework. I mean, Lejon, I don't really think that was the case. I don't think they were doing it. It was more like EA's kind of like forcing them to do it, you know? People come from Dragon Age. Yeah, but yeah, and I do hope Dragon Age, because like here's the thing, right? I know a Kami Fighter said like he doesn't like Inquisition's combat and probably doesn't like Origins. But I do think there is some value in Origins combat, same with like Inquisitions, because it allows it to be more like Dragon Age, you know. I enjoyed the ending of Metaphor Refend to Zero. I hope you enjoy the ending of it. What is that supposed to mean? You can't say that. That makes it seem like I enjoyed the ending to this other video game unrelated. I hope you enjoy the ending to the video game you're playing. Like, okay, what is that supposed to mean? For me, they need better marketing. Just the marketing alone gave ammunition. I get you, Haikyuu Warrior. So, to me, I don't really think that's what like really is important, you know. Marketing does impact like immediate, but it doesn't impact like the long term idea, like the long term. What's the word? The long term thought process, something like that, of the game. I think like them learning to respect the engine and basically like trying to be themselves and not anything else is better. I hope they add purple dialogue for Mass Effect 5. you have the 3 dialogue options. You have like blue, purple, and red. You know, that'd be funny. Okay, you have a new dialogue. You have a new like bar. It's not just like Paragon and Renegade. You have Paragon, like comedic dude, and then Renegade. Marketing sets a tone of the media narrative. The first trailer. I get you, Haikyuu Warrior. I just don't think it's that important, you know, because the game itself isn't really that reflective, you know. I'm sorry, Gillenane exists, Hosberg Wasteland exists, like the fucking bloodbath that Zara takes, you know, the Gloom Howler. I don't know. We started playing the games at the same time. I'm done with mine. Enjoyed it. I hope you do the same. Oh, okay, cool then. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wasn't able to like finish it like alongside you in this weird sense because I'm just busy. The worst thing is that they did it before. I don't know. Bioware's never been really great. Like, not Bioware. EA has never been great at marketing their games. You know, because like EA fundamentally just doesn't understand RPG. You know, they understand how to market sports games in first person. What should we expect Hawk on Joe Rogan? So Hawk, you said what were your comments on the Blood Mages parkour? Okay, Joe Rogan, you gotta listen here, okay? So I said some things, you know, it wasn't really that great, you know. Hawk, aren't you a Blood Mage yourself? Yes, but that doesn't matter, okay? there are many things that we need to say, okay, and some of them just probably need to leave, you know. You know. I lied about Baldur's Gate 2's combat, please no. Combi Fighter, get ready. Not even Baldur's Gate 2 combat. We're going to fucking all the way to the beginning, okay? Baldur's Gate 1 combat. Get ready for spell slots. Get ready for Faco to come back, okay? How defensive you are is how low your armor is. Meaning, literally, you being naked gives you a higher armor chance to not get hit. On my second playthrough on Nightmare. Oh damn. Yeah. Spell Mage goes crazy mid game. Yeah, I'm gonna try Spell Blade properly. So Wasteland. I condemn you to Wasteland 1 gameplay. Let's go. This is what BioWare needs to return to, okay? Not this bullshit Baldur's Gate 1 gameplay, okay? This is what we need, okay? This is what we need for a true Dragon Age experience. True Dragon Age. No. I'm sorry, man. This is just the way of the world now, okay? There are only 2 types of gamers, okay? People who like Wasteland 1 and who aren't gamers. Those are the 2 types of gamers. Ah, gosh darn it. Honestly, I like the Mage in Vilgard way more than Rogue, who I'm playing now, even early on. Yeah, I mean, I like the Mage as well. I think one of the issues that a lot of real-time with pause games will fundamentally have to face is that so much of the combat is literally just like you standing alone and then hitting the guy. And like, there's literally nothing else. You don't really have to worry about positioning. You know, in some cases you do, but positioning is not an important thing in real-time with pause games. You know, it's much more important in turn-based games. You know, but not real-time with pause games. And then you have the mages who are just like, and like, yeah. I'm talking between Mage and Rogue are my favorite person. Yeah, I haven't tried Rogue or Warrior though, or whatever first bite ish. And it won't be a Dragon Age. It will be an Ancient Age. And I never play Warrior. Yeah, I mean, I've always played at least one of the. Not Dragon Age 2. Funny enough, in Dragon Age 2, I've never played the other classes. Okay, because I always liked the Mage. Warrior was my first. Oh, that's cool then. Anyways. I'm delaying the end for a bit long, I might say. Thank you all for the chats. It was very nice chatting with you guys again. We're gonna be doing this again on Wednesday. To just go through the Dragon Age Reddit AMA. You know, I already asked my question. You guys probably should do yours if you want. My brilliant questions. Will the next game after Mass Effect, whether it be Dragon Age or new, be developed on Unreal Engine? 2, very insightful, needed. Will you get Gary McKay in the offices again and ask him where you guys shedded more blood? 3, also cake or pie? Fuck, I hope Bioware answers this. Bioware, I hope you answer. I'll see you, Comedy Fighter, if you enjoy. No, you too, Haikyuu Warrior. Hope you enjoyed as well. But yeah, and we're going to do that on the 4th of December, which is this Wednesday. Same time as well, 9 a.m. PS. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy your day. Yeah. Doctor, remove my cringing. Me during the me the AMA probably. Yeah, that is true. I feel the same, you know. I feel the same. Aging, thanks for the streams, yeah. It's a pleasure. Me when I age. Okay. Fun. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Neat. Aging Lamau. Aging?